Welcome guys to another episode of For the Love of the Game. I'm Dino Lee and here with me is the one-armed Mamba, Katan. Unfortunately, Ken won't be able to join us because of emergency event na kailangan niya, he has to attend to. But again, thank you to all our viewers from Facebook. We are actually live on Facebook, YouTube, and on Kumu all at the same time. So thank you to all our viewers. Kung matagal na kayo nanonood sa amin, maraming salamat. And of course, we would like to acknowledge yung guest natin for tonight who has joined us here and those who have consistently supported and tuned with us since last year or maybe nagsimula lang the past couple of episodes, diba? So maraming salamat. And of course, before all of that, we want to acknowledge some of our previous guests, and one of them is actually from our episode 7, which is Pauline Lopez. She's currently participating in the 2021 Asian Taekwondo Olympic qualification tournament. And of course, for our episode 10 guest, Jamie Lim, who recently celebrated her birthday last Thursday, May 13. So happy birthday again, Jamie Lim. And she's also participating in an Olympic qualifying tournament for the sport of karate. And of course, last but not the least, our episode 17 guest, Tonino Gonzaga, who was recently tapped as a practice player in preparation for the Philippine team's stint in the 2021 FIBA 3x3 Olympic qualifying tournament. Grabe, no? Yung mga guests natin, nagbo-blossom pa rin sila sa careers nila in sports. And we wish them all the best and good luck, of course.
Yes, yon. Hello guys, hello, good evening everyone. Yun, si Ken nandito watching us right now. Yun. Thank you and si Sir Noel and si Kathy. But yeah, again guys, good evening. Thank you for being here with us with Dino and me. Again we would like to encourage everyone who's watching us right now to please do like and share this episode. And because of course we also want to spread our love for the game, and also we want you guys to help us in doing that. And to those who just tuned in, who haven't followed us yet on our social media accounts, please do so. We are on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and of course Kumu. It's at For the Love of the Game PH, and we are also on Twitter. It's at FTLOTGPH. And guys, of course, you can also catch the audio version of our episodes on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Anchor. So you just type in FTLOTG in the search box to find us there. And also, please do we have our usual hashtags, but for this episode, we would like you guys to please use the hashtags that you see on the screen. It's hashtag Krizanne T on FTLOTGPH and hashtag FTLOTGF42. Wow, guys, 42 episodes. Yeah. And lastly, hashtag For the Love of the Game PH. So, yon.
Hindi ko pala nabanggit, no? We're actually on our 42nd episode. But thank you for mentioning that,
yes.
Kat. So maraming salamat kasi nakalimutan ko siya. But before we actually introduce our podcast, especially for our first-time viewers, no, and yung rules of engagement natin for every episode, we would like to ask you guys, what are you excited about for tonight's episode, di ba? So, kilala nyo naman yung guest natin, nakita nyo naman yung promotional material. So, maybe share to us, what are you guys excited about for tonight's episode? And you can just comment it down below if you're in Facebook, YouTube, and on Kumu so that we can read through those comments and makita rin ang guest natin for tonight. And of course, the usual thing that we do is we actually introduce our podcast, especially for first-time viewers. And our podcast is all about inspiring possibilities from real-life sports stories. And for sure, tonight, yung real-life sports story natin, which is yung guest natin, will inspire possibilities for everyone that's tuning in and yung makakita ng episode na ito. And of course, rules of engagement natin, number 1 is to share your learnings. Kasi mabigat tong guest natin, Kat, di ba? Grabe, mabigat yung pedigree nito. And I'm sure, hindi lang kami ni Kat makakapulot ng learnings sa kanya, no? Very open naman daw siya to talk about yung personal stuff sa buhay niya. I'm sure you're gonna learn so much from this person tonight. So share your learning so that we can talk about it and maybe share our insights as well, di ba? And learn from your insights too. And of course, on second note, you can ask questions kasi maybe this person has built something that you admire or something na you wanna replicate, di ba, for your own organization, particularly for sports, and being able to contribute to society. Maybe this is also a perfect opportunity for you to ask specific critical questions that you can apply in your life. And last but not the least, because this person is very busy having a full-time job and at the same time having two other organizations that she has built and established from the ground up. One thing to appreciate her time, her knowledge, her story, yung energy niya, mataas ang energy nitong guest natin, is to appreciate her again through the comment section down below. If you've worked with this person, you were teammates with this person, di ba? Kung ano ba siya as a teammate, namabasa ba siya or scorer ba to, di ba? Para we can recollect memories as well, di ba? As she tells her story all throughout the episode. So yan, I think before we actually, bring her in, Kat, maybe you want to share what you're excited about for tonight's episode.
Yeah, sabi mo nga, 'di ba? Baka naging teammate nyo or I have shared yung years before we've been teammates before, and sabi ko nga off the record, I'm really just so excited to how far she's come, like tonight today, who she is today. Parang yung experience ko with her as a teammate before, definitely mas na siya ngayon, nagbago siya, and I'm so excited to discuss or learn from her. Yun nga, kasi I'm so amazed on how she balances things with everything that she has a lot of on her plate as of the moment, for sure, diba? So yeah, and yun, mas tayo na, ang sabi ko nga, mas magiging mature yung usapan namin compared to when we were teammates before. But yeah, I'm just really, really excited to talk to her again and learn from her. So yun.
Ayan. Sana yung kung sinasabi niyong mature yung mapag-uusapan, ano kaya yung napag-uusapan? Tanong natin kay guest natin tonight, no, para at least maibunyag yung mga pinagagawa niyo dati. Pero anyway, what I'm excited about is because yung organization nila are pretty much game changers sa sports industry, and I think this is a person that people want, for sure, I highly recommend people should learn from, kasi iba yung mentality, hindi lang para lang may organization, but it's an organization that creates positive social impact and change. And that's why we actually invited her here, is to share that journey to each and every one of you. And before we bring her in, we want to do a very professional introduction for her. Of course, this person is a former Ateneo Lady Eagle back during her college days, and she's also the co-founder of Girls Got Game Philippines and Game on Sports Inc. She's also a former member of the Philippine Amigas national handball team, and a member of Women in Sports Commission, a member of that. And of course, at the same time, she's also now currently inducted as part of the executive committee in the Women's National Basketball League. She's played in and won in various women's commercial basketball leagues. And at the same time, she's also a fixed income and currencies trader with Deutsche Bank AG Manila. And at the same time, a Master of Business Administration from China Europe International Business School. So before we actually bring her in, please do watch this trailer. Ayan, let us all welcome our very special guest for tonight, Krizanne T. Ayan.
Hi,
Hi,
good
Chris.
evening. Hi, Dino.
Ayan.
Hi, good evening. Thank you for having me.
Ayan, Chris,
Yay.
baka you wanna give a shout out. Of course, thank you. It's an honor and a privilege to have someone like you here on our episode to share your journey. But of course, maybe you wanna take this opportunity to shout out all the viewers, maybe some of your friends, family members, and business partners.
Yeah, hi to everyone. I hope you guys are watching. Do follow and for love of the game. I really love this show. Like, subscribe, like what Kat mentioned afterwards. But yeah, feel free to ask any questions. I'd love to hear from everyone. I'm happy to take any questions, comments, etc. So yes.
Ayan. Of course, before we actually start the ball rolling, we just wanna read through some comments, para mga pabati kay Chris Ann and yung mga nagsusupport sa atin. Of course, pinakauna, si Sir Noel Zarate
Sir
of
Noel.
Newbies Broadcasting Academy who's calling the shots for calling games for the PBA. And thanks for letting Ken D. Pangilinan cover for me tonight. Still under the weather, of course. Career yan ni Ken so we definitely support him on that. All for one for all yan. And at the same time, from Kathleen Sitingko, I'm excited to hear more about Chris Ann's journey. Ayan, shoutout mo na.
Thanks, Kathleen.
Ayan, yan. Of course, from Ken, ayan, hello Chris Ann and my awesome co-host Dino and Kat. Enjoy. Ayan. Nag-enjoy naman ako, Ken. Medyo na-challenge
pressure,
lang.
Medyo
Na-challenge lang.
challenge siya.
Na-challenge lang. Okay.
It's want to see Ken. You know.
Oo, na-miss na namin agad. Na-miss ko na nung simula pa lang. Pero ito, of course, from Krizia Camille T. Ong. I think, if I'm mistaken, this is your sister. Ayan. Hello, Krizan.
Thanks for watching, supporting.
Yan, of course, grabe yun yung importante, di ba? Parang when you start out or when you, merong mga nagsusupport sa'yo na yung siblings mo, ibang level yan, yung support na binibigay nila. Grabe. And of course, kilala natin to, Chris. Sabi ni Lester, I'm excited to learn more about how Chris Ann paved the way for online multi-sport classes.
Long story yan. Happy to share about this. Of course, Mr. Lester Castillo. Thank you.
Ayan. So, and of course, and more details on her passion for the girl effect. Ano sabihin niya? Sige. Later on, we will talk about that. Medyo first time ko narinig yung term na girl effect. Okay. And sabi rin ng sister mo, she is ready to inspire everyone.
Yan. Always ready yan.
Yan. Grabe, no? Iba yung support ni Chris Ann. Yan ang tinatawag na big boss. Diba sinasabi ko sa iyo, Kat, bago siya pumasok.
Big boss yan.
And of course, from Gab Ferreras, who's been supporting us since episode 4, sabi niya, congratulations on your new appointment as one of the ambassadors ng WNBL. And to be honest, nagiging busy na si Chris Ann within the pandemic sa dami ng mga endeavors, lalo na sa online grassroots program ng Game on Sports. One-time guest din sa amin sa Tops with Miss Leah Kalingasyon last year. Nice to see you again.
Hi, Gab. Thank you for always supporting us.
Ayan. Okay. Ito, of course, avid supporter namin yan, si Arsenic Salangsang. Hello, FTLOTG fam. Wow. Hello, ate, Chris Ann.
Ate Chris.
Okay. Oo. Ano ba? Meron pa ba? Ayun.
Meron mga from YouTube, yes.
Ayan, si Bretty Dichosa. Hello daw po from Sports 7 Manila.
Idol yan, Idol. Sports 7 Manila. Iba yan. Follow.
Of course, yung Dino, yung gumawa nung trailer ni Krizanne, si Bin.
Ito, Bin Cuevas, of course, the one who actually made the trailer for Krizanne. Hello, good evening, guys. And from Dana Villegas, let's go, Krizanne.
Hi, Dana. Thank you.
Tapos from YouTube, Leo Yubanas. Hi, Coach Krizanne.
Hi, Coach. Coach Ready. Thank you.
And of course, supporter namin si Vance Clarin. Padaan lang sandali. Excited pa naman ako for tonight's episode. I think this is the first time, no? First time na nado-dominate ng number of girls yung guys. Kasi before, normally, mas marami yung guys sa girls. So, different perspective lang. And of course, from Gabby Aton, good evening po, FTLOTG fam.
Yeah.
And
lastly, si
from
John.
John Cheng since episode 4. Hello, good evening, FTLOTG fam. Hope y'all are having... Siya yung mahilig mag-yol, no? Yol. Hope y'all are having a great Wednesday.
Hindi ko alam term ata yan eh. Yo.
Yan yung Gen... I think it's a Gen Z term eh, no? Or hip-hop term siya, parang yol. Anyway.
Hindi mo na generation yan, Dino. Kat.
Hindi, generation ko yan. Generation ko yan.
Ginagamit ko yan.
And Chris, glad to have you here. But before you take us on a journey, kumbaga share your story, how you started, how you are now as a person. Ayun, pa-shoutout daw, yung pinsan ko. Pinsan ko yan. Yan, si Mallory D. Shoutout, Krizanne. Teammate mo, di ba, sa Kazaam?
Ay, Team Kazaam, yes. I'm Lemon.
Nakalaban ko ba yan, Dino? Nakalaban ko ba yung pinsan mo? Talaga?
Laro tayo.
Okay.
Yan yung tinatanong ko sa iyo, Kat. Tinatanong ko na siya sa'yo before kung nakalaban mo.
Okay, siya pala yan. Okay.
Ganun talaga pag superstar na, Chris, no?
Yan, sabi ko na eh.
Ay, pinapansin ni Kat. Okay lang, Kat.
Uy, grabe siya. Hindi tayo ganyan. Hindi ako ganyan. You know me, guys. You know.
Yeah. Pero yun nga, Chris, before you take us through your story, like, I mean, we're now in a situation where we're not certain on when sports will actually go back to normal, di ba? And it struck us by surprise last year. I'm sure you were surprised as well. And you had so many plans for Girls Got Game, especially last year. And at the same time, if I'm not mistaken, you started Game on Sports, which is you offer multi-sports classes. You started it early 2020, and I'm sure you had more additional plans for that apart from Girls Got Game. What was it like being in this pandemic, and what was your learning experience throughout being here na hindi natin alam kailan ba talaga babalik ang sports?
Yeah, very good question. Thanks, Dino. Thanks, Kat, for the warm welcome. The pandemic really changed everyone's lives. No? But I think one thing that really, I believe in, sports never stops. So regardless of, you find a way for sports to continue. No? Whether in GGG or in Game on Sports, you were able to do it in various ways. So in GGG, for Girls Got Game, we did a lot of different e-learning series. No? So since we can't do and roll out camps physically, what we can do is tap on digital. So everyone pivoted. So we did as well. So we did a couple of different sports, all four, and we launched it last year, which was awesome. As a really good feedback for the kids, etc. For Game on Sports, that's a different project in itself. No? So when we started, really wanted to do private sports camps for kids. We were supposed to launch in Decathlon last March. Sakto pa sa pandemic. But when COVID happened, we realized that you can pivot, and everyone did. So we just tried it out. We had no idea how to do it. Who would have thought that you can teach sports online? But for us, sports never stops. So we just tried it out. We launched online classes, and to our surprise, there's a huge market for it. We initially started with online multi-sports camp, and shout out especially to Milo Philippine, exclusive multi-sport partner for Game on Sports, who helped us, pave the way into doing these things. And from there, we actually started, focus sports. We have around maybe 10, 11, 12 different sports offerings that we can do, from basketball, football, rugby, all the way to hit, Muay Thai, just name it. To expand, hopefully, to more sports and to get more kids and to give more kids access to sports. So yeah, that's what we've been doing. It's interesting. It's an interesting time. When we started until now,
Right.
siguro sa June, or almost a year. we have more than 800 kids who was signed up, around more than 25 classes per week. So
Wow.
yeah, it's been keeping me quite busy, but enjoying at the same time.
Right. The interesting fact about, what you just shared was, kasi I'm sure you're pretty much aware that when we had the pandemic, a lot of sports events had to be canceled and we don't know when it's gonna come back. And I'm sure you know so many people that pivoted to a different industry na. I'm sure you're aware of that. But you mentioned that sports never stops. You had that mentality na we're gonna stick this through. Hindi kami mag-i-stop, tutuloy namin to despite the circumstances. Was that your biggest takeaway from ano? Kasi you mentioned pivot again. I mean, you mentioned it earlier. Was that your biggest takeaway from the pandemic? Bakit ganun yung approach nyo pa rin? Parang you could have opted na ano kasi difficult times talaga eh.
Well, to be honest, at that time, everyone, you just have to find the will and find the right avenue to do so. No? If you want to create change and you want to continue to still do impact, the important is you find a way. And if you really want it that bad, you will find a way. No matter, and interesting time right now, no? Everything is digital and we're all learning. I mean, I'm learning every day. When we started out, Zoom was quite new. But yeah, but now it's so I don't know, it's so useful. And who would have thought that all these kids, we've been with them for almost a year now. They've developed so much. And imagine we have a kid that's 5 years old and doing gymnastics, from crying because she cannot do a forward roll to now doing a handstand, and a handstand with just one hand. So
Wow.
sports never stops, literally. And for me, that's one of the things I'm very passionate about. And you can carry on as long as you want to, and if
Yeah.
you want to, there will always be a way.
Correct. Yeah, and I love that you mentioned na if you want it bad enough, you'll find a way, 'di ba? Kumbaga kung gusto mo talaga 'yan, what no pandemic or anyone can stop you from getting to what you want to achieve. Just like what you did with actually Girl Scout team, which we're gonna talk about later on. But maybe talk us through, Krizanne, paano ka ba nag-start, 'di ba? Syempre, di natin babanggitin kung ilang
No,
years ago na 'yan, pero
she mentioned, working with kids, but
uh,
as a kid, of course, Krizan, what are your aspirations? Like, how did what are your dreams? What were your dreams before, have you imagined yourself that you're gonna go this far? Or you just started with a simple dream and then just got went with it?
Was this, sorry, in relation to how we
yeah,
started Girl
how
Scout?
did you start it?
Yes.
Kumbaga, we're gonna take
Oh,
a trip down
Yes.
memory lane.
A trip
So
down,
many
yeah.
yes.
years, so many years ago, di na natin bibilangin, di ba? Pero how did you start with the
As a
sport?
kid, yeah. How were you involved? Were you always involved in sports as a kid?
Yeah. So definitely, ever since I was young, I'm so blessed to have parents who are so into sports, who really supported my journey, and I was fortunate enough to have been given a chance to access different sports. So at a very young age, I tried different sports, and I think that's why I'm a multi-sport advocate. I started playing basketball, just outside shooting hoops with my dad. Then from there, I actually tried. I played badminton and tennis during it's a summer. I sinasabay, which is not correct. So the coaches might get mad. But I was so just interested. What's the difference? And then I tried both, and then I tried so many
Right.
other things. And then in high school, or I played volleyball naman and kickball in my school in Ika. Then I realized that basketball is really my first love. Starting out playing, and then I really enjoyed. If there's one sport that I really love, it's really basketball. But of course, equally, I enjoy trying new sports. So for me, that was my takeaway when I was young. I was very thankful to have been given that access to sports, to try
Right.
different. And my realization was not everyone has an access. I has that access to try multiple sports. So for me, coming out, while I was working professionally, and I wouldn't be where I was. So back then, I started out as a trader also in Metrobank,
Yeah.
which is a male-dominated industry. So
Correct.
at that time, there were only a few female traders in the market, so to speak. No. But I really wanted to be a trader, so I raised my hand. I guess it, the competitiveness in me was brought about by sports competitions, etc. And I just really wanted to try out. So I raised my hand. I said, if the guys can do it, I can too. So, and that's why they gave me a chance. So I think the first female trader for foreign exchange in Metrobank at that time. And now I'm so glad that they have so many female traders now. So looking back, I realized that, I'm so thankful. If not for sports, the discipline, the confidence that it imbibed in me, I wouldn't be where
Right.
I was. So,
Correct.
putting all of those together, and coming from in the Ateneo, where the
Maybe pa talaga eh, no?
The Ateneo.
I mean, it really carries you really carry it with you. You know how to be men and women for others, and I wanted to find a way to be able to give back. And what better way for you to give back than by doing something that you love the most? And for me at the time, it was really, I know deep in my heart it was sports, and I wanted to find a way to do that. So I
Right.
realized that you can use sports as a force to actually do good and to do more good in society. And thankfully, in 2014, actually, uh, Mika Arcilia, shout out to my co-founder and partner forever in Girls Got Game. No? I'm so thankful that she reached out to me, and then we just chatted. She had an idea about women in sports, because she was handling a brand, Modest, at that time, and I was in finance, and I did a lot of different events. So I'm more attuned to operations and events. She was more attuned to marketing. I did finance. So I think we just brainstormed on how we can help
Wow.
elevate women, grassroots for women in sports. And then she brought an idea about doing camp. So I was like, why not? And I had experience coaching back then, and I was just really fulfilled. Being able to coach a team of girls and see where they could go. And from there, we just kept I just different ideas back and forth. Parang, okay, what should we do? What should we not do? There was a lot of at the beginning. Some people were hesitant about it. Why sports? Why girls only? Yeah, the usual question.
Right.
So that was one of our hurdles when we started. Why girls? But at the onset, you're actually
Right.
separating the boys from the girls. But for us at that time, there was no space or avenue for girls, specific for girls in sports. So if you go around the Philippines, basketball is a huge sport, but
Correct.
not everyone has access to it. So we have mga barangay na competitions or mga training, but not all girls sign up. They will say it's open for everyone, but only 1 out of 10 kids will actually sign up. And then we realized that these girls will tend not to join because they will either say, I might not, I don't want to join because basketball is not for girls, I'm too shy, I won't get past the ball. So parang that was a mentality back then, and then we wanted to change that mentality. So that was those were the thoughts in our mind. We did our research, we talked to different people in the sports industry, and we realized there is no specific sports camp that's exclusively for girls and
Mm.
specifically for girls, underprivileged girls that we really wanted to empower. So in 2014, Nika and I just talked about it. We developed a pitch. We called everyone. We just posted on Facebook to say, "Hi, who loves kids? Who loves sports? Who wants to give back?" As simple as that. Join us for coffee. And then we were so surprised. We had 40 people who attended, and we treated them to coffee just to hear us out. So we presented the pitch that night and what we wanted to do. It's at that time it was called Pink Places before it was Girls Got Game, to be honest, which wasn't
Right.
quite Pink Places. Imagine that if that was the name until now. And we wanted something a bit more, powerful and strong. And Girls Got Game was just,
Right.
sweet. And when we found that name, we fell in love with it. We really pushed for it. So there, from that idea, that pitch, we were able to form maybe a core team of around 10 people. who really loved the cause. And then from there, it was a series of pitches na naman to get other allies or partners. Special shout out for me is, and for me and Nika would really be Milo at that time when we started. We just pitched once. They fell in love with the idea. Yan. So, kudos
Right.
talaga. I really appreciate si Robbie De
Yes, yes.
Vera. Yeah, no, at that time, si Mr. Robbie De Vera pa yung
Okay.
sports market head, and also Mr. Andrew Neri, they really supported our cause, and that really helped us when we started out. In just one pitch, they fell in love with it. We were so happy. So it was a huge win at that time, and yeah, from there, we slowly built things up.
Right, right. Quick question
You
ako,
know,
Krizanne.
yeah, go Dino, go.
Paano ka, like, were you a kid that, kumbaga, nanggaling talaga sa'yo that, hey, I wanted to, parang gusto ko lang ma-recap lang yung childhood mo and just being able to, kumbaga, know more about it. When you were starting out as a kid, were you the type na ikaw yung nagsasabi sa parents mo na, ma, pa, mag-basketball ako, mag-tennis, badminton? Or were they the ones that really encouraged and supported you to be engaged in sports? Like, what was the mentality, or kumbaga, how did your parents see sports?
Yeah, both of them really, are into sports, definitely. But the interesting thing is that when I was young, I was the one who was choosing what I wanted to try out, and they were really just very supportive. I guess I'm just a very curious kid, kitty kitty, so to speak. So I just wanted to try
Yeah.
new things. And I really wanted to explore because I wanted to find what I was good at or what I will, fall in love with. Maybe that was my mentality, and just try new things. So I tried. In school you get to try so many other sports in PE. Diba? That's great. But taking it a step further, you do it after school. So from badminton to tennis, basketball, swimming. I even took ballet. Yeah, trivia. Yan.
Wow.
Everyone knows
Dami.
that.
Grabe. Lahat talaga. Ang galing.
So parang yung
So,
childhood mo yun yung representation ng game on sports eh.
Oo, lahat pinagdaanan niya.
but also girls got game. So I think I take it from my experience then, no, being able to try different sports. I'm really that's what I always say. I'm a multi-sport advocate. I think
Right.
discovering sports for kids at a very young age is so crucial, and it's not something that should be pushed to them, but rather it should be something that they explore and discover together with their parents.
Right, right, right. So being someone that had parents that supported you and being exposed to many sports, why do you think it's really important to expose kids at a younger age? Kasi pwede naman silang ibang gawin. There's so many activities out there, right?
Mhm.
You can do so much with the gadgets out there, with the books that you can read. Like, why do you advocate for starting kids at a very young age?
There's so many. I mean, I'm sure everyone knows that the benefits that sports can give you at a very young age is so parang you can't even count. It's not just learning fundamentally, so basic. You get to learn balance, coordination skills, agility, and these are just the physicality of the sport. But more than that, it's actually the values that you learn in sports that will take you to greater heights and places. So if a kid at a very young age learns the value of discipline, getting into competition also, then when they fail, parang how do you bounce back of a loss, of a failure? All these things. Apart from that, there's also a sign of respect. Being able to get used to saying hi, coach, thank you, coach, goodbye, coach. These things that you train them at a very young age, and hashtag start them young. If you look at it, it will really mold you into a more disciplined and hopefully better person. What I like about sports in my own personal experience is the discipline that gives you to wake up early every morning to
Ah,
train.
yes.
Diba?
Oh my
Relate.
God.
Yes.
Imagine in Ateneo I had to wake up at 5:30 at 5 o'clock or 5:15 every day just to get to training by 6 a.m. And that's
Same.
Monday to Saturday. So and that's my own experience. Imagine the kids that if you get to expose them through these things at a very young age, their mentality will change. It's gonna be like a Mamba mentality, diba, Kat?
Yeah. Very true, very true.
That's really
Hindi,
hope
tama
for
yun.
them.
Hindi,
That's what we.
kasi Chris, di ba, aminin natin, eto nga, sabi nga ni Lester pala, sorry, who's the current, heading sa Milo Sports, di ba, si Lester Castillo. Great things start from small beginnings. Di ba, yun yung tagline nila, di ba?
Of course.
Yan pala yun. Great things starts from small beginnings. And of course, comment lang din from Arsenic, sports never stops. I love that I love that mentality coming from na kami rin, 'di ba? Like we could have opted not to do this, pero love namin yung sports eh. Why not continue it with this platform? So yeah. Siyempre may papalag din yung Lasal, may di naman din ang Di Lasal. Okay. And of course,
DLSU may D.
Ito, nag green and blue heart siya si John Ginel Layag.
It's purple. It's orange.
Purple,
Orange and blue.
Okay.
Orange and blue.
Coach
Sorry,
namin
colorblind tayo.
Coach nyo sa
sports.
Okay.
Muay Thai coach
Muay
namin.
Thai. Wow.
Solid Muay Thai coach.
Nice.
Ayan. Pero yun nga, Chris, ang aminin mo, may mga parents talaga hesitant yung mga isabak yung kids nila sa di ba? Like what would you tell the parents na kumbaga mapapanood to live or replay or mapapakinggan nila? Like what would you tell those parents na medyo afraid sila baka masaktan yung anak, madapa, masugatan or mabali yung kung ano man?
Well, yeah, if you think about it, it also depends on the type of parents that they have. So that's one. What I would always tell the parents, it's falling that these kids learn to stand up, and you want them to fall as early as never. Because what if they fall in the future? When they're a lot older, they're not used to enduring hardships and these things.
Correct.
Are so important life lessons, and that's for some parents. Some parents, in my experience with Girls Got Game, is they don't want the kids to go into sports because they should be doing more important things. So that's the mentality naman, sad to say. But reality hits. Kasi syempre, they want their kids to, help out at home, do household chores, and these are more important for these kids. But of course, what we're trying to develop and make them understand is that, through sports, these kids can actually pave their way into a better future by getting into a scholarship, by getting into big schools, and then landing great jobs, and then can help them elevate. So that's the girl effect, actually.
There are a lot of things. Nice. Yeah, that's a girl effect. There are a lot of things talaga na, you benefit from sports. And I'm so amazed like how you started from, with an idea and making it big, and you're just really just making things happen, especially for women. And sabi mo nga part yon na yung failures, yung mistakes of building something and making you a better person. You've also mentioned your struggles before when you were starting, but let's yung ano mo as before you really got involved with Game on Sports and Girls Got Game, as you were a player, you were once a player, right? You were once a player in high school, in college. What were your struggles before in dealing with various things in sports? Have you encountered injuries, or have you encountered rejections, or yung being a competitor? What was your journey as an athlete?
Mahabang usapan yan. Baka bukas tayo matapos.
Okay lang. Puyatan. Sanay naman kami sa puyatan. Wala naman problem.
Yeah. I had so much, I went through so many things when I was young. One of the important parts was when we were in high school, I was part of the Ika basketball varsity. And
Right.
interesting, I actually I was in an all-exclusive girls' school, which is Ika. At that time, the only recognized varsity was volleyball. Parang hindi na kita. I love our volleyball varsity players.
Yeah,
Definitely.
of course.
So we were in the recognized team, no? So I would really envy, the likes of Miriam, other schools, AC. They actually have a full force, sports program for girls since grade school. And for us, we had to, sariling kayod, so to speak. We're training outside of school. We had
Ah.
to, train in dirty courts, not the usual gymnasium. And we had to rent it. We had to pay for it. We had to pay for our jerseys. All these things. Apart from playing, we had to go through that fundraisers. Imagine a team, a group of basketball girls doing yung Christmas choir just to earn and raise funds.
Wow.
And who
Kumakanta kayo para mag-raise ng funds for basketball?
exactly, di ba? Parang
Wow.
May pasample ka ba, Chris?
huwag na. Naawa na ata siya. Man, that was an experience, and I really love my Ika basketball team for that because we really struggled, and just to get recognized and acknowledged. No matter what, I love how disciplined they were into doing and pursuing playing for the school despite that. And we eventually got recognized. And from then on until now, which I'm so thankful, the Ika basketball team is actually a recognized varsity in Ika. And that was great. So happy for the kids that they don't need to go through playing in dirty courts and doing all those other things. And focus on, playing the game. And that's what's more important. So that's one. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, go. Pero parang ano pa rin yun eh. Parang you could, kumbaga, confidently say you guys were the pioneers.
Yeah. I would.
Yun.
You guys were the pioneers. Yun eh. Parang, mas maganda yung court nila ngayon. They don't have to fundraise. Pero ikaw yung nauna eh. You were the first ones to kumbaga, leave a legacy for the future generation. Diba?
Definitely.
It's not surprising that you founded, organizations like GGG and Game on Sports because you had that kind of experience while you were in high school. You were young. So you really had that kumbaga stepping mo, 'di ba? To be where you at right now. So you had that experience. I did not know that. Kumanta ka pala. You did a fundraising event.
Yun yung sinasabi ni Krizanne na if gusto mo, you will find a way.
Gagawin mo, 'di ba? Lahat
gagawin mo lahat. Kakanta ka. Kung hindi kahit sintonado ka, kakanta ka kasi kailangan mo mag-raise ng funds eh.
Nako, nabuhayan si Dino.
Ano pa bang ginawa nyo, Chris? Apart from singing songs?
Siguro sobrang dami. Apart from that, siguro we did fundraisers, different things, selling tickets, raffle, parang you name it, all the type of fundraising activity yata in my whole experience.
Ginawa nyo lahat?
Gawa na namin lahat just to, help each other out and really play the game.
Correct.
Tatanungin ko sana kasi like yung niya yung what was her driving passion eh. Pero lagi talaga bumabalik pag gusto mo talaga kahit yan, game ako diyan eh, 'di ba? Like
no excuses, pag gusto mo talaga go mo paran.
All in tayo diyan, 'di ba? Parang pero again like pag bata ka pa lang ganun agad yung mentality mo. Na you've already practiced that kind of mentality. So it's not very surprising that everything that you get yourself involved to is you're leveling the game up. And gaya ng sabi ko, Krizanne, yung experience natin before, like ngayon, I'm really just so amazed learning how you started. And kasi we haven't really talked about serious stuff before, di ba? So yun. Meron lang. May
babasahin ba natin yung comment?
Parang ayaw ko basahin. Natakot ako bigla nung nabasa ko eh. si Krizanne.
Batiin mo na lang, Chris.
Krizanne,
Saan?
baka gusto
Krizanne,
mong...
oh. Ito, kaka-comment lang. Ayan, to.
May
Oh,
nag-comment kasi.
Ayan,
Baka
ito
kasi
lang.
hi, Phil. How are you doing?
May sinabi kasi siya sa before that comment. Kaso kasi baka mag-exit bigla si Krizanne sa stream eh. So,
Oo, yun ang usapan namin eh.
oo eh.
Oo.
Pero, talagang, Phil, talagang hiwala yung Ate Kat tsaka Dino and Ken.
Oo. Oo, kasi
Grabe talaga.
kinaklaro lang niya yung yung edad natin, 'di ba? Para
Yes.
tama
Oo.
lang, tama.
Respect.
And kasama mo si Phil sa executive
Kumakaagi.
committee of the Women's National Basketball League, right?
Yes, that's correct.
Yan.
Yung dalawang idol ko talaga yan eh. Itong si Krizanne tsaka itong si Phil eh. Hindi ko alam bakit.
Ayan.
Oh.
And of course, ayan eh. Sabi niya, miss ka na daw niya asarin.
I think hindi siya sa amin.
Pero hindi, yun nga. Again, Krizanne, like everything is making sense. Like parang you're where you at right now is where you're supposed to be because ever since you've been in that situation, you've involved yourself in a lot various things, and it's just amazing. Like I'm very proud na kahit matagal tayo nagkakilala, matagal tayong nagkasama, pero the hindi nawala kumbaga yung connection natin, and I'm just a proud ex-teammate and a proud friend to hear the journey that you have accomplished, and you're still accomplishing. I know you have a lot of things to ano pa in the future, but yeah, I just want to say that hearing
Yep. Thanks, Kat. Ako just wanna shout out ulit si Doc Phil
si
Claudine
Doc
Gainget,
Phil.
who was the number 1 overall pick sa WNBL, who was our guest back in episode 35, if I'm not mistaken. Of course, sabi rin ni Lester, such a trailblazer. And of course, coming from Gabi Aton, heart emoji of your story.
Heart.
Ayun.
Heart
Tapos yan, may nag-request lang Yan, sample na lang
Oh,
kung singing, please.
hindi na kami yan, Krizanne, ha? Hindi na kami yan.
Kung pagbibigyan, 'di ba? But Chris, ano pa
Kaso
yung baka
baka mag-exit eh.
De, pero ang masasabi ko kay Chris, confident. Kumbaga kailangan makapal ang mukha mo din eh, 'di ba? You have to find the way to make things happen, 'di ba? Kahit sabihin natin hindi siya into singing, pero kinanta pa rin niya, eh, 'di ba? Yun yung kailangan, yun natutunan ko kay Chris eh. So yun, Chris, what were your other struggles and challenges then, as Kat was asking you earlier?
Yeah, like if you had if you've experienced rejection, and if you did, like how did you handle those things, like kahit nung bata ka pa?
Yeah, I guess one of the things that you're looking back, I actually tried out. I played volleyball actually in high school, so I was the captain of my batch team for 4 years in ICA. For intramurals, and I was thinking maybe I should go since at that time volleyball was the main sport. You acknowledge varsity. Maybe I should try out. And then so yun, I actually tried out, and we went there siguro mga third year, and afterwards, and I think naman skill set wise we had it naman. But then again, what I learned after parang the tryout was that we didn't make it. So malaking rejection yan in my end, and I was so surprised. Quite parang I was so surprised and a bit hurt kasi parang isip ko, I think I really was we have the skills. I mean, me and a couple of friends who tried that. We were solid players naman in our batch team. So I couldn't understand that rejection. And I even talked to the captain. I was like, why is this so bad? I don't understand. And then, interestingly, there was a whole team perspective and dynamic that she explained to me. So coming in as a third year or fourth year high school student, he was saying that, of course, the team it's a team decision. Whereas parang kailangan mangibabaw yung team more than, I guess, in a way, yung skill. Same team dynamics is more important. And they were seniors na rin, and we're coming in as seniors. So they were looking at it in that perspective. I think it was a very humbling experience. Was thinking that I knew I was good enough at least, but knowing that they value team over anything, I think I really respect that. It's not every day that people will do that. Sometimes people will look at championships more than becoming an MVP versus becoming a team champion with us. So I think that mentality really helped mold my thinking. Okay, so there's a lot of different things, and that was my first reaction actually, and I take it to heart, but with a grain of salt, thinking that life must go on. So keep pushing, and I really pursued basketball, and I realized that when that door closed, it only meant that I was meant for more in basketball. Yeah. And looking at that from Ika basketball, I was able to play for Ateneo, the Ateneo Lady Eagles. So shout out to my whole teammates. I love you all guys. Sobrang great, best experience I would say when it comes to playing. There's so much to learn actually when you step into college ball. I'm sure everyone knows that.
Right. What was the experience like? Kasi, I mean, prior to the WNBL, the highest level of basketball is college basketball na. And the Premier League for women's basketball is the UAAP, right? Or NCAA. So parang for you, what was the experience like being able to reach the highest level of basketball for women's?
Yeah, it was a dream also to get in, and I'm so thankful. I have to admit I wasn't the best player, and I was at that time when I was a rookie, but I was still far behind. The guys were really good. I thought my stamina and conditioning would be enough, but apparently no, it's a different set of skills that's needed when it comes to college ball. So coming in, I really had to work triple hard. So some people might have talaga inborn eh. So that's where you see that you really have to work hard to get something. So athletes are not just born, but they're also made it. So I had to work my way through to improve my shooting, to improve my dribbling. Man, my shooting form was so bad before. Sobrang nakakahiya. But Ateneo really helped me fix it up. And that was amazing when they were able to do so. So when I got into the UAAP team, for me that was an achievement itself. And despite how short it was definitely the most memorable experience that I had for college ball. Imagine being able to play for your school was like I just mentioned it last Sunday that it's actually like playing for a country because yung team spirit of the name was just amazing. The support that you get from the alumni, the committees, the teams. It's just great. And yeah, that's where I understood what school spirit meant. And more than that, I was thinking like, okay, what's next? And at that time, there's no future for basketball. That's what everyone will say. So maybe that's one of the reasons why I shifted out. I stopped playing. But now there's actually an opportunity for these girls who are in college ball to play for professionally to the WNBL, the Women's National Basketball League. Right. So exciting for the future of women's basketball.
Right. Meron ka bang thoughts, Kriz, around being a student athlete? Like, what's your thoughts around being a student? Kasi academically, mabigat yung pedigree. Kasi you went all the way, 'di ba? Kulang na lang doctorate degree na lang kasi nag-MBA ka abroad and you were able to have graduate from a great school. What are your thoughts around Kasi syempre you're promoting sports. What about education? What are your thoughts around it?
That's a very, very good question, especially for the parents in general. Being a student, man, it's such it really helps you learn how to multitask. If there's anything, it helps you learn how to compartmentalize also. When you're in basketball, you're all out playing. When you're in school, you're all out, with your homework, the things that you need to prepare for. So actually, when I was in Ateneo, I actually took applied mathematical finance. So that's AMF. And that was a very challenging course. I don't know why I picked it, but yeah, I love math, so I said, why not go for it? So I was all in, and playing while at the same time, training while at the same time studying. Man, I was really pushed to my limits, and that really helps you build stamina. So imagine I have to wake up at 6, at 5, train from 6 to 9, and then rush out, take a bath, eat breakfast in maybe less than an hour to be in my math class at 10. And
Atay.
I calculate
Grabe.
10 a.m. So yeah, that was quite an experience. I come in class talaga parang medyo sweaty and all that, but head in the game. Uh, I'm sitting literally with math geniuses. Whereas I thought my math was great, but their math was so there. So on court, off court, I had to work triple hard, and yeah, it paid out well. I guess with that really helped me learn how to multitask. So even until now, so I guess that's one of the things that I take to heart until now. I'm able to multitask, to do different things at the same time if I need to, because I'm able to compartmentalize when I need to focus.
Like
Wow.
you need to you're learning also like how to manage your time well. And
Yes.
yung ano I think yung ano din dyan is yung sacrifices. It's really part of it. So during being a student athlete, meron ka bang like sa tingin mo na sacrifices that you can share lang naman na na you gave up to focus on your studies and being an athlete,
Right.
or was there any regrets when you were a student athlete na sana nagawa ko to pero hindi ko to nagawa kasi student athlete ako, or sana ganon. So if you can only share, what can you share with us lang?
Oh yeah, definitely. So yeah, becoming a student athlete really makes you. So a lot of people know me that I fall asleep very fast, and that's very. Sandal mo
Yeah.
there. I can actually
Oh my
easily
gosh,
sleep.
parehas tayo, Krizanne. As in like, saan mo ko ilagay, kahit anong posisyon ko, makakatulog ako.
Diba? Ready. So the same thing. When I would train in the morning, sometimes I meet friends after, and by maybe 9 o'clock, I'd be falling asleep during the gathering. So those things. So sometimes I just try and opt not to go na lang kasi I'm very tired na. The next day, you have to wake up again, back at 5 a.m. That's the routine. So yeah, I had to let go of some of important events from my friends. But then again, as you mentioned, no, when you have good friends, they'll understand and actually they'll see you through. I mean, you don't talk as much, but once you talk, it feels like you just pick up where you left off. So yeah, that's one thing. Another thing maybe that I actually, yeah, interestingly, siguro, my past relationship, yeah, I actually chose basketball to a certain degree. um,
Oh,
Basketball
so,
over boys ka. Yun ang...
basketball over
basketball
athlete.
over love life,
Okay,
over
basketball over
anything.
boys. Okay, okay.
Sometimes, focus diba? And sabi ko nga, I had to work triple hard eh. So at that time. But syempre, work-life balance, so that can't always be the case.
Yeah. So, ano lang, ano lang ako kasi syempre, yun yung lagi nga natin, 'di ba? Because kahit naman sabihin natin na we know how to multitask, it's just like, meron ka talagang i-give up eh. Meron ka talagang mga bagay na lahat, pag lalo na sa mentality ni Krizanne is like, she wants to do a lot of things. She wants to be involved with a lot of things. So, parang para sa kanya, siguro ayoko to i-give up pero kailangan eh. You really need sacrifice to be successful or to be at least be that person you want to be in the future, 'di ba? So wala lang, parang nakakaano lang kasi 'di ba sabi ko nga sa iyo, Krizanne, na nagtataka ako like I want to learn how you balance your how is it yung work ethic mo eh. Like how you do it eh. Because ako parang feeling ko ang dami ko nang ginagawa pero tas nabasa ko lahat ng nung credentials mo, nung highlights mo. It's like, man, this girl is so tough. Like I cannot how can she do it? How can she handle these things? And you just, again, lagi sinasabi mo sa akin, or yung ibang tao dyan, like, I inspire you guys, but I really do get inspired by people like you, of course, because tulungan tayo, 'di ba? Yung sabi natin, 'di ba? Tulungan tayo. Hindi lang naman lahat naman ng achievements natin sa sarili natin, hindi naman 'yan dahil lang sa sarili. Tayo lang 'yan eh. We all need help. And it's important that you surround yourself with good friends, with good people, because in the end, things will happen, things will follow through, and good things will happen to you, right? So
Yep.
yeah, I
Amen.
just want to say thank you, Krizanne, for reminding me, or like I got a lot from you on your kind of mentality also, aside from Mambo mentality. Now
Yeah.
I know I have a Krizanne. I will go for the Krizanne mentality.
Go lang ng go.
Yeah,
GG.
yeah. GGG.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
were saying, may sabihin ka ba, Chris? I think you
uh,
were trying to tell.
I echo all your points, definitely. So, I always say I'm game naman. Basta kaya, I do everything that I can within my power. If I'm able to
Right.
help, I'm always happy to help. If there's anything that I want to share.
Right, right. So Chris, I mean, done with the your journey with Ika, yung pag ano mo, pioneering the basketball program for Ika and being able to be part of Ateneo basketball. You went corporate, right? Before you went corporate with Metrobank, did you college ka pa lang or bata ka pa lang, you had thoughts of building like a not for profit organization like Girls Got Game? Like paano siya parang in the middle of your corporate biglang naisip ko lang, uy, gawa kaya ako ng Girls Got Game para ganun yung for kids, 'di ba? Or was it way before ano pa? Kasi you were saying earlier during the initial part of the interview na meron kang hindi lahat mabibigyan ng access. But I had that access and I was lucky to have that. So parang at bata ka pa lang ba, naisip mo na, bubuo ko ng someday I will build my own?
Well, actually, I wouldn't say naman na bata pa lang na isip ko na siya. I think it's a good sum of all my experiences that I was able to think and be able to give back. So that's one of the important parts that I realized. So parang if you get something, you should give. If you learn something, you should teach. These are the things that you should always take to heart. And for me at that time, like I mentioned, my experience was with um, being in a male-dominated industry where I really fought my way to stand out, to be not one of the boys, but really be the rose among the thorns, so to speak. So I love those guys. They're my office mates, the RFED team. So special shout out to them for welcoming me warmly in their team. I really love those guys. So they helped me be who I am. And for me, I was coaching on the side. I coach the
Okay.
Union Bank basketball team. So hi to the girls there. Um, the women's basketball. So I just helped them, and I really felt fulfilled after just one game. To think these were adults, parang what more if they're children? So I wanted to give back. I had so much experience naman din, in events. I actually did with the list group. I organized a lot of bazaars, so maybe for 5 years, maybe two to three
Wow.
bazaars a year. So hi to Stacy, Rachel, then Kyla, the list group. And they really helped me naman on my organizational skills at a young age. Fresh out of college, we do a lot of events. And one of the events is really um, attuned to Girls Got Game, which is called Fit All You Can. So it was one day that people can try out different sports. And you
Mm.
just pay a one-time fee of 500. Then this is for adults. My experience, I wanted to try more sports when I was working. So yun yung
Right.
thinking ko at that time. I want to try more. But I have to pay an entrance fee. But if I want to try CrossFit, I want to try bar three, Zumba, and all these other things. So I said, why not just make an event, one-time fee lang, then you get to try all the sports, all the fitness exercises.
Wow.
So so it's called Fit All You Can. We did it when Rockwell Kent was still there, and it was really a good event.
It's
So
all you
matagal
can.
na.
Tagal na.
Um, So those were my experiences. And then my partner who forever partner and si Nika Arcilia, shout out to her. I would say that I have to thank her for approaching me, which came to me with the idea of saying that I really want to find ways to empower underprivileged girls through sports, and she thought that I would be a good partner to do so. And if not for her reaching out, also, this everything wouldn't have panned out the way it was. So from that first moment that we talked, and we were friends back in Ateneo, but not really close. She was a track team, varsity. And then we just met
Wow.
first year. Interesting pa, sa first year college kami, we just met in the Ateneo Moro locker room. Oh, what sport are you in? Before mag-weights kami. Pareho kami mag-weights eh. Oh, I'm from basketball. I'm from track. Okay. Tapos hi-hello na lang from there. And then in fourth year, we got to work on a project with G&G. And then we didn't talk. And then cut to when we were working, another 4 years after, we just chatted again. And then we were just so passionate about building and empowering girls and finding a perfect platform to do so.
Great.
And how parang that's actually the founding rules.
Chris, did you find out bakit ikaw yung nilapitan ni Nika? Kasi ang dami naman niyang pwedeng lapitan, di ba? Tapos sabi mo nga, sa freshman lang kayo nag-usap, di ba? So, did you find out bakit ikaw yung naging ano niya?
What she said, and when we always look back at that moment, and she said that she knows that I've done a lot of different sports, organization of sports events through the list group as well, and she knows that I teach. I coach some kids if I can, and I'm a doer, so I really like to do things, and if I'm all in, I'm really 120% in.
Grabe, no? Biglaan lang pala, no? Out
parang
of
ano
nowhere.
Lang yan eh. Parang feeling, parang feeling mo talagang pag-click mo, like, ano mo yan eh, ma-feel mo yan eh, kahit hindi mo kilala, and then, like, one talk, malalaman mo talaga yung connection ninyo. Pag unang usap nyo pa lang, like, oh, madami tayong pwedeng mapag-usapan, madami tayong connection, we can relate so much, and once you find that person na you can really click well, and you kasi it rarely happens na in one diba, na ito pala yung makakasama mo sa ganitong kalaking mga events, ganitong organizations. Hindi mo naman iisipin yan eh. Pero sa simula, you start with the simple things, and then you create bigger things along the way. So I think it's really important that you find that connection with one person to, diba? Like, once you click, never let go of that person. Parang diba, parang pag when one person can influence good to you, that means it makes you also be a better person, diba? So it's important again to build connections, to build relationships with people that matters to you. Yun yung, diba? So it will bring you good. It will bring you good in the long run.
And
you never know who you actually something that I really live by, parang what my mom taught me, that it's not just what you know that matters, it's really also who you know. But somewhere along the way you find your path,
correct,
or you be able to do a lot of different new things together. And that for me, I'll forever be thankful to my partner. So Nika, congratulations, just got
pero diba lang yan, sorry Dino, lang yan eh, parang hindi naman, it's really not a matter of number of years that you've known each other, or parang as long as you both have that common denominator. Nagmath ako bigla. Parang yun ba yung tamang term, guys? Ako kasi hindi ako kayong dalawa. You're both really math inclined kayong dalawa. Ako arts ako eh. So hindi ko alam kung tama yung term ko. But as long as you have both common thing together.
Common ground.
So I guess that's what what matters to you if you look at, those things lang. And yeah, as you were saying, Dino, sorry, I
Yeah.
interrupted you.
No worries. Yeah, just to add lang kay Kat, I think si Nika acknowledges na hindi niya kayang gawin mag-isa. I think that's something that I want to point out, because talent and skill can only bring you so far, but it really takes, if you want to really go far, it takes a team or a community. And maybe
True.
Chris, you want to share around having a team, what's the importance of having one, and totoo ba na kailangan mo talaga ng team to go far, or baka mali lang naman ang assumption ko na na pag kahit mag-isa ka kaya mong gawin lahat.
Good question. I love talking about this because you know what, I agree with what you just said. I'm a team player. I love working in teams. I love building teams. And I like how teams are able to do more together. So more heads are better than one head. So for me, our experience when we started Girl Scout team was really finding the right people, and it wasn't just about skill set, but also having that passion, the same passion, the same vision, and it's more like selling the vision. If you're aligned, if you believe in it, in the cause, because once again, it's a non-profit organization, so no one in the organization gets paid, but what you will get, which is the time, the whole price, the fulfillment. Imagine. So that's what I always say when we welcome someone to the team or before they step in. It's a lot of work, but there's nothing you can get except the fulfillment that you take home every camp, every session, because it's a new experience every time. And nakakataba ng puso every camp that you do, you take away something huge, and that really helps mold us into becoming better people. So yeah, for me, when we were choosing people around, we really talked to them. We pitched to maybe 30, 40 people individually. Kaya na, kasi we want to tell them about our story, what we want to do. And then, so there, we for ourselves know that we cannot do everything. There's a lot of skill set that we share between us. So me and Nika, Nika's pro in marketing, so it's really good. I'm good with operations and finance. I work in a bank and I do events. So that's our skill set. But there's so many other things that's needed for it to roll out. And coming from Ateneo, where I was in the Ateneo Freshman Orientation Committee. So I think my experience leading a team there helped prepare me to become a leader outside of Ateneo. When we structured yung Girl Scout team, we made sure that there's a typical organization for college, there's marketing, logistics, finance, all these teams, and we added an athletes management committee and a coaches management. So that what we wanted to do was each team will be focused on their tasks, and what we wanted to take out was that they don't bother when it comes to funding. Why is that? So from my experience being in Amigas, and funding was one of the issues. We wanted to lift that burden away from them, and we put it among us first, so that they can focus on the task at hand and they can focus on what is needed to do. So an eye on the prize for every team. So that's what we really wanted to happen. And it was interesting. It was interesting looking for the right type of people, because we had to search and really get people to recommend other people, and that was interesting.
Right. So yun, I mean, hindi lang pala ako mag-isa nagsasabi na it takes a team to win. Girls Got Game agrees with me, yung co-founder, which is Krizanne, di ba? And another thing that I wanna point out din dun sa ginagawa mo, Krizanne, kasi you've never talked to Nika, you never were close in college, you just got to, parang acquaintance lang yung tawag dyan di ba? Yun yung term na ginagamit ng tao But I think it's putting yourself out there. Parang people will never know what you're capable of unless you put yourself out there. Like ngayon, we're in social media, di ba? Parang, kumbaga, if you do things, you do the things that you love, you practice your skills, you show what you're capable of. Like si Kat yan, very active social media. Krizanne, very active social media. Nakikita ng mga tao. And parang out of nowhere, may message na lang sa'yo, baka we can work together, di ba? Because they know your skills. But if you shy away from, especially we're in a pandemic na ang hirap mag-physical interaction, people won't know what you're capable of really. Unless you really go out there and show what you're made of. Diba? Yun lang yung thoughts ko. Baka you wanna add on to that, Chris?
Yeah, definitely. One thing that I learned, you have to make so much noise that it's so hard for the world to ignore what you can do. So, but no matter what people say at the onset, if you do things that are quite unusual, that's actually the more important part in life. If you do things that haven't been done, hindi pinakamagandang gawin. Kasi you're paving the way, you're changing the landscape for things that people, and that will definitely make sense to you. And for me, you guys, everyone in the sporting community trying to do it in different ways. Yan talaga, hanga ako. And I'm all here talaga to support whoever, whatever, all those who want to push sports forward, definitely.
Right. And what would you say, Chris, was the secret ingredient for, when you guys brainstormed it to now being one of the organizations that's recognized by the sports community? Like, what do you think was the secret to Girls Got Game and etong launch ng Game on Sports?
Yeah, so different things. For Girls Got Game, definitely it's the team. We have a very solid core team. We started 2015 officially, 2014 unofficially. It was the team has evolved. Everyone's doing great. Now it's Mariana and Jelly Kudos who are leading the team, and I'm so proud of them. They've brought GG to greater heights, which we're so proud of, especially coming in Nika. I think what's important, the secret ingredient is really to have a common vision that people understand what you are doing. When you yourself, when you come in the organization, you know why you're here and why it exists, and you know the purpose, and not just the organization's purpose, but your purpose in that organization. So I think that's quite key for us. But for Game On Sports, it's a different thing, which is interesting as well. When we started to build out the team during the pandemic, we've grown a lot. So I to all our coaches. Yeah, just to share siguro party and to know what Game On Sports is. It's basically we're here to push for kids to discover sports at a very young age. Multi-sport, focus sport camps that we do. So shout out to my co-founder, Lance Leah Kalingasyon and Dan Kakainak. Yeah, these are my friends and teammates also in other sports. And we all play basketball. Just saying. But yes, for us, I think what's key naman for Game On is being able to, the people that join our team, we make sure that their goals are aligned with ours. I think this applies to not just the Game On, but also the Girls Club team. I make sure that when I invite someone in, I ask them what their goals are, what do they want to achieve on their own, and I try my best in any way possible to align their goals while they're with us, whether in Girls Squad team or Game On Sports. Because the goal is really to help every person grow into becoming a better person.
Yeah.
Whatever aspect. So if the coach wants to learn how to be able to manage a class better, then we'll send him or cross-train him to different classes for them to learn best practices. If the goal is to be able, so we had one volunteer whose goal was to be able to learn how to start a non-profit. So when I was talking to her as a volunteer in Girls Got Team, special shout out to her. I told her, the best way to learn is to actually join. And I will happily guide you in whatever way possible. But I think you start out to learn to listen. And from there, once you get that experience, you're able to run it as well on your own. So I think making sure that you are able to also help another person grow within the organization individually is so important. And if a person sees that he or she is continuously growing, they will stay on. So that's one of the key things that I always make sure when we talk to different people in both organizations.
Correct. So recap lang, number one is it really takes a team. Yun yung secret ingredient. And having a common vision for the team and them being able to see them reach their goals through that vision. Tama, no? Correct. Interesting, Chris. Parang na-notice ko sa GGG, parang puro girls lang yung involved, if I'm not mistaken,
Well, actually,
from the
we have one
organizing.
Merong
uh,
isang guy, si Jan,
our
is it?
Mr. Hendrik Lim. Yes,
Yes,
he's our
si Jandrick Lim.
Okay.
shout out to Jandrik. He's been with GGG since the start of the pitch when we just pitched in Kappa. I mean 6-7 years back. He was really all out into helping GGG, and up until now, he still does. Yan. Good job, si Manbassador yan. GGG Manbassador. Si Mr. Jan.
Ambassador.
Ayun, yun.
Yeah.
Kasi sa Game On Sports, meron silang male coaches eh. May nakikita akong mga male coaches sa GOS eh. Yun.
Yeah, we cater to both, girls and boys. It's really for kids. The goal is to really get kids regardless.
Sports in general, gender in general, like everything, all in there.
Definitely.
Chris, curious, sa Girls Got Game, I think you mentioned that it was a struggle before na wala masyadong nagbabuy-in dun sa ginagawa nyo. Parang it was a challenge eh, parang for everyone to believe in it because it's unorthodox or kumbaga you guys are parang paving the way for something new and different. So how did you guys manage to go through that and maybe share some stories of what happened, how you guys were able to push through all of those obstacles that were and roadblocks that were in front of you?
Sure, yeah. When we started, some people thought that, initially it was 4 days, which is quite tedious to do because we were thinking one sport per day, but it's not too tiring for the kids.
Yeah, correct.
And some people just thought that, it's a logistical nightmare. And then I just that, we'll make it happen. I guess Nika and I were just very confident because we were so sold into what we were gonna do, and we know what we were gonna do. So there was even no point where we felt that we couldn't do it. I think we were that confident. We will definitely, will be successful in launching the camp, no matter what. We'll find a way to do it. But I guess logistical nightmares was one of the things that we first struggled with. Because imagine we had to get kids from a barangay or from a school, transport them to a court or a field. So initial stages,
Right.
we were
Right.
finding the right mix on how to do things. And first time that we did the camp, we actually had it in the Gateway pitch in Makati, the blue pitch. So imagine, we really wanted to give the full experience. We don't scrimp on quality. When it comes to sports, we don't scrimp on quality. And we wanted to give the kids that were joining us, a full athlete experience. What better way to do so than bringing them to a full-size Chelsea pitch, diba? So and that's in
Right.
the
Correct.
Gatorade Blue. So it was very idealistic that we wanted to get them to get that. Pero it was challenging for us. But we were able to do so by, pitching to people who sponsor the Jeeps. So that was, it's just really pivoting, and people understood what we were gonna do. So we said, okay, if you want to help out, sponsor the Jeeps. Parang it won't cost too much.
Wow.
You just need 3 Jeeps. So it's really bootstrapping all the needs. I knew we needed Jeeps, food, etc. So in order for us to be able to fund everything, we got private sponsors from each aspect. Food is a different sponsor, logistics is a different sponsor, water is a different sponsor, balls is a
Grabe.
different sponsor. So really working, from scratch. And we just had a checklist. We need to get everything. So yeah, let's just go one by one. And then we were able to do so, thankfully. Thankfully to the partners who believed in us since day one. Yeah, I always shout out special cause really Milo at that time who believed in our cause, and also Gatorade who was there, really hydrating us. I needed that.
Grabe, no? Parang nakita ko dun yung being able to, not mind the naysayers and just do what you believe in. And I know parang it's easier said than done, Chris, kasi mahirap eh. Pag nandun ka sa moment, how do you go through that? Diba? How do you go through those challenges? Kasi I'm sure it wasn't an easy. Mukha lang, nung kinukwento ni Chris, I think mukha lang madali. Pero,
Madali na siya kasi tapos na eh. Parang lahat naman
mukha lang
ata
siya.
tayo. Lahat tayo when we are
I'm sure you agree with me.
in that
Yes,
mukha lang siya madali eh. Mukha lang siya madali pero it's again cliche as it may sound, it's easier said than done eh. I mean, pitching to the brands, reaching out pa lang eh, setting up a meeting. And because ganito kalaki yung, I mean, there's pressure then because these are big brands. I mean, syempre, baka mapaya si Milo or mapaya si Gatorade pag nag-sponsor sila sa akin, di ba? Di ba? May pressure na ganun eh.
So, meron ka talaga dyan, yung test of endurance for every pitch to maybe 30, 40, a lot of brands, a lot of people. I mean, not just recruiting at a team, while at the same time pitching to a brand, securing funds, while also pitching to private people to sponsor us. So we were deciding, the route for us at that time. While we wanted to go to public, we chose the private sector. That way we were able to fund things. So, whatever, when people not really reject you, but don't mind you, it's okay. Parang, okay, for me, next. I will keep moving on until I find the right people, the right partners who believe in the cause. And up until now, that's my mindset. So parang, if you close the door, it's fine. Next. Happy to talk to the next one. And I'll make sure that it will do so well that you will regret not working with us.
Ayun! Yun ang gusto ko marinig.
Makaka-relate talaga sa'yo si Dino.
Nakaka-relate talaga ako sa'yo.
Sobrang, should I leave the room now? Like, sobrang feeling ko, Krizanne, because, Dino, kasi ganito, I just want to say na Dino really do resonate with your story. And like me as a team member of Dino, and I just want to also give Dino lang din this starting this platform, starting for the love of the game. Talagang parang syempre mahirap 'yun eh as a leader to start, and hearing that from you, parang nakakatuwa lang na for Dino na sabihin lang din sa kanya na hindi siya nag-iisa. Hindi siya nag-iisa sa ganitong journey.
Nawala lahat ng stress ko, Kat. Nawala yung stress ko. Nawala lahat ng stress ko.
So, ibig sabihin lang, you're on the right path because Krizanne has been through a lot of this, and we're just, yung for the love of the game, we're just starting. And Krizanne started with, also with that vision, and as in sasabihin ko sa'yo, Krizanne, parehas talaga.
Parehas.
Even yung sa team, yung sa pagbuo ng team and everything, it's sobrang ko sa inyong dalawa, like the way you deal in handling a team and leading us to a brighter future, leading the whole community to a good future. So papalakpak sana ako, pero buti ginawa na ni Leo,
Ayan, palakpak siya eh.
Coach Leo yan. Part ng GOS yan. Really good part of our team.
Chris, ito, itatanong ko lang to sa'yo Ewan ko okay lang sa'yo i-share Di ba nag-present ka to 30 to 40? Ilan yung percentage na pumansin sa'yo? Tas ilan yung nakipag-partner sa inyo? Percentage lang. Just give.
Ako, ito na malala.
Kumbaga yung batting average mo na lang.
Alisa talaga ako, percentage ang pinag-uusapan dito.
Kasi parang gusto ko lang makita yung parang yung early rin nila, yung kumbaga challenge.
It's a good question. So maybe we had around siguro 50-60% naman, a bit more than that actually, believe in us. Siguro yung first few lang was challenging because it was new, diba? So it's really building that MVP, minimum viable product. So for me, it was really for me and Nika specifically, for us, it was really launching the first camp that we knew that will seal the deal. So once we launched that, you'll get to see that it's possible. So that was the idea. And the way for us that really helped us move forward. And I will be forever grateful also to our GDG ambassadors from the very beginning. When we started, one of the things Nika and I really wanted to have was the GDG Manifesto. So follow us on YouTube and Facebook. You can find that. It's the GDG Manifesto. which was we did it with our ambassadors. So that was Gretchen Ho, Carolyn Tanchi, Natasha Alquiros, Melissa Jacob. Four of them. We just went to a court. We just shot them. And kudos also to the production team that really helped us, sila Ago, etc., sila PJ, who did it all to help us for free, because they believed in the cause. And imagine, they were the same guys, production company, who did videos for Gatorade, Under Armour,
Wow.
and they did our videos for free because we pitched to them the idea and what we wanted, and they were so sold into it that they actually helped us launch it. So it was a crucial first stage for us to get our brand out. And so I'm very thankful to all these ambassadors, especially si Gretchen Ho, I would say. Gretchen was a supporter since day one. She would go
Yeah.
to the camps. Even after a long shoot, she would text me, parang may camp ba? I want to drop by. And she was one of the
Wow.
MVP speakers. So it's very important for us in a camp to have MVP speakers so that they can share their experience being an athlete to the kids
Correct.
to inspire them. And imagine a kid who's 10 to 12 years old, and then
Gretchen Ho.
who's coming in. I mean, diba, celebrity factor and all that aside, parang a real person going through so many challenges through sport and brought her to where
Right.
she is today. It was so inspiring for these kids, and mapalakpak yung mga tenga nila once they see Gretchen Ho coming in to speak to them and take a picture with them. And then afterwards, would teach them volleyball. So yeah, there's so many doors that really opened that helped us. And thankfully talaga to Gretchen Ho for being there. And so Natasha Alquiros is another pioneer. She's doing really well in football. Kudos to her. Melissa Jacob and Carolyn Tanch are really good friends in basketball, leaders in
Right.
sports and in life, I would say. So yeah, that really helped pave the way. So if you find the right allies, and especially for you, Dino, and for all those who are trying to pursue things that they want to do, their passion projects or passion um, ideas and goals, you find the right allies. You never stop losing that hustle mentality
Correct.
that you will eventually find the right allies. And when they understand and when your vision is clear and that space of yours that you want to create is so amazing and hard to resist, then man, everyone will just follow through and want to work with you. So yeah, just get that mentality and you're gonna do really well, dude. You guys are doing really great. So I really love your show, guys.
Ayan,
Krizanne,
yan.
like I'm just curious, no? Like, of course,
Thank you.
oh, yeah, but I'm curious lang, of course, na if there's one particular person that you admire, or you're one of your role models. Kasi gaya niyan, like 'di ba yung mga bata, syempre to see an superstar athlete, and then they parang 'di ba pag athlete ka meron ka talagang ano, gusto kong maging ganon, gusto kong maging ito, maging katulad niya, to have that kind of attitude as an athlete, as a ikaw ba venturing to these things, was there one person na makes you inspired or motivates you to push your dream in this in this career, in your career?
Wow. Miss Universe question. Grabe sikat.
Grabe.
So, really, I guess for me, draws my inspiration. I mean, I draw all my strength and inspiration from my mom, my sister, and also my partners, Jack. They really, really help me and support me in all my endeavors. I think that's where I draw my strength from, and most important values and learnings in life comes from them. How they're able to always, my mom always says, what you know, it's who you know. It's something that I always live by. My sister at a very young age who tells me that, if you're going to something, panindigan mo. And those are the things I actually, that's from you. That,
Yeah.
basta may pagpukan ka, panindigan mo yan. So, commitment, parang at a young age, told me that. And I was like, yeah, that makes sense. When you're all in, you're all in. And of course, my partner, si Jackie, who's always there pushing me, supporting me in whatever endeavor that I do, no matter what it is, she will always be there to help me uh, reach farther and greater heights. So yeah, I think these people, family, my friends, and my allies, I think they help me to become the person that I am. Because no matter what idea, no matter how crazy, I enjoy the fact that they entertain it, they listen to it,
Yeah.
and they criticize it. I think that's
Yun.
the best. Parang if you criticize it, so I had friends who criticized GGG from the start, which I greatly appreciate. Because I
Correct.
wouldn't be, I mean, Nika and I would have been able to, craft that program how we want it to be done if not for these. So yeah, constructive criticism is so good because it humbles you into creating something better. And I love feedback. Parang it's something that we live by, especially in Game On Sports now. We push for a culture of feedback. Whatever, every class, every session, give feedback agad. Why? Because it reveals better. It helps you improve. So it doesn't need to be written down. But if you tell someone, you know what, I think you did well, but even better if you did this. Right at the onset, it will stick to you. And that's what we're aiming for. So I guess, yeah, I draw my inspiration from all of those, especially my friends and families. Who,
Yeah.
especially, sorry, shout out to my yaya. Yeah.
Ayun!
Yan, yeah. To.
Important talaga
Importante yan,
yan.
yung mga yayo natin. No, but what I got from that is, sabi nga ni Krizanne, di ba, when they started, they were very confident, that they can do it. It's important that you believe in yourself. But it's, again, hindi lang naman yan ikaw. So it's also helpful that you have friends and family who believes in you, because that's, sabi mo nga, that's where you draw your strengths. And even when you're down, they're gonna be there to lift you up, to help you grow as a person. And kahit na may binibigay silang negative, sabihin na natin negative mga criticisms na ano, but those criticisms means that they care enough to help you be a better person. Kasi hindi naman yan, kasi parang nakakaano din na puro mababango lahat yung naririnig mo. Kasi parang, so, ibig sabihin wala ka nang i-improve. 'Di ba? Parang, hindi ka naman, oh, 'di ba? So, when you are learning, it means that you are becoming a better person. You're becoming a better version of yourself today than you were yesterday. Right? So, yun lang doon na parang, I guess, the important lesson there is, when you hear criticisms, you don't see it as an insult. As, except na lang, pag, it's a personal attack. Pero if it's regarding with your work or on how you, it really builds you as a person. It builds your character. And yeah, that's what yung mga diyan, sabi nga natin, 'di ba, dami sa panahon ngayon, daming bashers 'di ba? But it's important that you only listen to those people who matters to you, because those people will be the ones who will be there for you to your ups and downs. Right? So,
Yeah. Pero Chris, ako minsan pag na-feedback ako, pikon din ako So, alam mo. minsan lang. Syempre pag initially actually pipikon talaga ako 'di ba? Syempre, those
may
are the
tanong
things
may tanong ako dito, pag ako ba yung nag-feedback, napipikon ka?
Depende sa
ako
feedback.
madalas nag-feedback sa kanya
Hindi kasi, Chris, ako, very competitive ako Pero yung napipikon kasi I wanna win so bad, para gano'n. So, parang gano'n.
Tama. If you care enough, I mean, if you get frustrated because you care enough talaga that you wanna succeed, you don't wanna fail, etc., it means talaga that's good. Parang you're pushing to your limits.
Correct.
I think that's one of the things that's important. You can't always be comfortable. If you're too comfortable, then you're not pushing yourself to do better.
Correct.
You're not growing anymore, no? 'Di ba? Pag ganun.
Ay, tinag na yung si Lourdes Santiago.
Tinag na si Yaya. Hindi, pero nakita ko yan may post si Krizanne about her Yaya.
Yeah, correct. And proud it's great to acknowledge the ones that made you and build the person that you are today. Parang it's a nice parang that it comes down to the value of gratitude Parang having that kind of value of practicing being thankful and being grateful for kung sino man yung tumulong sa iyo. Parang pag ganun ka, it will attract more opportunities for you kasi sobrang nagpapasalamat ka. You'd never take your relationships for granted, right? Yun yung napulot ko from Chris. Chris, eto, matanong nga, ano yung mga major pivot moves ninyo sa Girls Got Game? Kasi for sure, when you started it out, it wasn't the same sa present moment, what it is now, di ba? Maybe you can share one or two major pivot moves na ginawa nyo kaya it made, allowed GGG to be where it is today?
Yeah, sure. So I guess on a logistical standpoint, the first pivot and most important one was from 4 days. We've narrowed it down and made it 2 days, so it's just a weekend where you get to learn 4 sports. So initially we did it parang we divided the team into two. They did one team does sport A, one team does sport B, and then switch. Now we pivot sometimes that we do let everyone do sport A and then let everyone do sport B. So yun, it's quite logistical, honestly, but it matters because we saw then the difference. And also, if you wanna, apart from, of course, the important part is teaching the kids. You also want your volunteers to have a chance to come in and give back. If there's anything, we wanted GGG really to be a platform for athletes, fellow athletes, commercial, playing, leisure athletes. Everyone's an athlete, and I believe in that.
Right.
Who wants in the cause to support? There's always a place for GGG. Sorry, that's what I always say. No, whether you play sports or you don't play sports, but you believe in the cause, you're welcome to join. We have a place for you in GGG always.
Ayan.
So kami, parang we welcome everyone, and then what we try to do is really find a way for these people, give them a chance to give back, not just through their money, not just through objects, but actually for your time, your effort, and your energy. And that's the best gift that they can give actually to the kids. It makes a whole lot of difference, just one weekend. So yeah, that's one of the important things. So in pivoting for GG, there's so many things that we have to do and change up also. And that's right. So imagine from no camps for a year, and we were so excited to celebrate our 5th year last year. It was our first milestone for us.
Yeah.
But it's okay. It doesn't. Sports never stops. So that's why we pivoted into doing e-learning series. That's one.
Right.
And I guess lastly, and this is how I want to explain also how Game On Sports was founded. In Girls Got Game, we really looked at overall sustainability. And it's not just about the program, but if you want your program to continue, which means if you want to create real impact, real change, you require resources.
Yes.
And how do you, being a non-profit, you have to have a source of funding. And that's one of the things that Nick and I look at from the side. While, of course, the team is doing really well. Yeah. Again, hi to everyone in the team. So, thank you. Good job, Mariana and Jelly. I'm so proud of you. You pitch ka lang sila. And the whole team. You're doing so well. I think, I was thinking when I took my MBA, that was one of the drivers for me, which was how do I make my organization sustainable? And that comes not just the program, but also financial sustainability. And that is key for a program to continue. And so I talked to a lot of different people, experts, professionals, and even both in Shanghai and also in London, just to pick people's brains. And then they were telling, low-hanging fruit is to start a for-profit sports camp. And that's where Game On Sports started. So I'm so proud of how GDG is moving forward and reaching greater heights. And while that is doing really well, I want to prepare for the next and future of GGG by being able to provide that source of income. And how to do that was that's why I started Game On Sports, especially with my co-founders, Dikay and Leah. Special shout out to you guys. Who really believe in GGG and what it is for, who were with me during in GGG and the whole camps and experiences. And good supporters, best supporters, and since day one also. And when we started Game On Sport, that's how we pivoted into being able to help fund GGG. So now, the goal is, while we started this small, this business, so I'm inviting everyone, if you want your kids to keep moving, stay active and fit while at home, do sign them up in Game On Sports. We offer a lot of different sports. The idea is really not just to provide access to kids to sports while online, but also the prices are very competitive because we don't want cost to be a burden for parents to get their kids into sport. So our prices are so competitive. It's like less than a Starbucks for every session. And then
Yun.
lastly, diba? Kasi everything's tightened in their belt.
Paborito ni Kat yung Starbucks na yan eh.
Okay lang, wala pa naman akong anak eh. So, sa sarili ko muna yung gastos.
Pwede si Kat mag-coach next time. No, Kat?
Game ako dyan. Of course, I'm always willing to help. Anyway, man. Anyway.
But yeah, so yeah, lastly is, in the pandemic, a lot of coaches lost their jobs, received pay cuts because there's no school, there's no teams, there's no actual physical environment to train. And we pivoted online because we wanted to address those three things and really try to help out. So we were able to provide jobs to coaches, and I'm so thankful we have around 10 coaches who have been with us since last year. We were able to support them in one way or another by providing them classes. We were able to help kids stay active at home. We were able to help parents, give them at least 30 to 45 minutes of sanity to rest while we take kids. It's so important. Well,
Correct.
we teach values through sports, even online, in the simple things. We prepare small videos from the coaches, and the coaches that said hi. These are, one of the best coaches that we have, where we teach, values every week. It's a new value per week, and we insert it in that program. Where, after class, if the value for the week is discipline, how do you show discipline? That you make sure that you put back your toys and your sports equipment after the class. Still doing things, the right things, even when no one is looking. And it's so simple, these simple things that actually change the mindset of young kids. And imagine a 5-year-old. We have as young as a 5-year-old who now knows what discipline, resilience means.
Wow.
I didn't know five, but what's resilience? What's
wow, being resilient at 5 years old? Wow.
Grabe.
It's amazing. So that was one of the biggest pivots also that I did. So when I co-founded Game on Sports, it's really my mindset was also to be able to find a way to have both organizations, help each other or build an ecosystem around it. And yes, I'll take this time to do a shameless pitch that we just launched. Game On Girl. It's GGG's X3OS where sign up your kids for a multi-sport camp. It's just for a day. It's open donation, and all the proceeds will go to GGG. So, hoping you guys can also support all our friends, families, and all the other people who are watching. Please do sign them up. Game On Girl. The links can be found in both GGG and Game On Sports na Facebook and IG pages.
Game On Girl, still when yung fundraiser nyo dyan, Kriz?
Matagal pa naman. It's on June.
June, the first
pa. Day of June. Yeah. So we have enough time. Hopefully, June 5. So if you guys can help out, if you guys have friends or kids who want to sign up, please do.
Game On Girls. Note natin yan. Na-note natin yan.
Na-note na ni Dino yan.
Support tayo dyan. Kasi para sa Chris, Chris, may tanong ako. Ito para sabi ni Gloria T. Which, who is your mom? Diba? Krizanne is a sports fanatic, addict. Yan ang diba? Addict talaga and is always on the go. And
you can
yung
stop
maganda
her.
yung dulo you can stop her, diba?
Yeah.
First matigas na. Joke lang.
Diba? So, hello po, auntie. Ayan, hello auntie.
Yeah, auntie.
Ayan. Chris, apart from, of course, doing GGG and GOS, and at the same time being a currency trader for Deutsche Bank right now, di ba? You took upon yourself to actually expose yourself outside the Philippines and took up masters in London Business School and at the same time sa China, sa Shanghai, China. What was the experience like through that journey of yours being going abroad and studying, and I think you had an internship with Juice Intelligence Sports, if I'm not mistaken.
Future. That's the
Yosh Intelligence Sports in Shanghai. Like, can you tell us ano yung takeaways mo from that journey studying abroad? What did you get out of that experience?
Sure. You know what? The best takeaway that I can do is that, Filipinos are so competitive, and we think that maybe, foreigners or other people, speak so well, do well, that we can compete. But actually, we can, man. We're so competitive that we can actually beat them. Sometimes, they just talk a lot, but the Filipinos, have really good ideas, creative ideas, and sometimes we're just a bit shy compared to the rest. But we're so competitive. We're world class. The Filipino is definitely world class when it comes to anything. So when I went abroad, I really spoke about GGG a lot, and they were very impressed with how in the Philippines there's an organization that actually does it. That's one aspect. Other aspects is that if you want something, common Americans really talk a lot, and that's, I guess, something. Filipinos are a bit more shy and timid sometimes.
Conserve ang Pinoys eh.
But what's good about Filipinos is that we listen kasi muna and we absorb it. And then once we understand, then we give our input. And that's crucial. So, taking in things, listening first. It's a skill that, Filipinos have, which is awesome. Oh, shout out to this guy, Philip. We just talk a lot, but we Filipinos so we are so on point. As in, I've experienced so many classmates who, talk a lot, but I couldn't really get what they were saying. But then again,
dun papasok yung talk is cheap.
I didn't say that. You did.
Yeah. Baka may magalit sa akin dyan. Pero I may conviction ako doon that talk is cheap. Nasa execution pa rin at the end of the day.
That's true. I'm with you on that. So when I was outside, but it's more like really learning from them the best practices. And I really wanted to get into a sports company while in Shanghai, because China is really a growing economy. And
Market.
Imagine how they just transformed in just a number of years compared to where the US is. They're actually now close behind. So if you think about it, I'm not saying that I'm Chinese, yes, doesn't mean I'm pro-China at all, but I want to learn from them. And that's the reason why I took my MBA in China and not in the US or not in other countries. And I just did my exchange in London because I really wanted to see also how they do it in the West, a glimpse of it. And working with the Chinese, I really like their hustle mentality.
Yeah.
Even they really want to make things happen, and they really want to make things great. And yeah, it's good that can take away, when they want to create something. Now, imagine how they created so many new schools, companies, and now really, and I won't be surprised if China becomes the first biggest economy in the world.
Yeah, in the world.
So, and that was a strategic move for me, because I really wanted to understand their culture and know what they wanted and how they want to do things. So for sports, they've invested in so many things.
Yeah.
They actually bought a lot of teams, a lot of media companies in sports, and that's how they're promoting themselves. So that's where I interned in. I was able to help this company, a sports investment company, because I was in finance, so I had to look for something that is closely related to sports and finance, which is great. So through Chosher, the sports investment arm, I was able to help them bring a strategic investment, which is the F1 esports, from London, bring it to China.
Formula One.
The esports.
Wow.
Esports,
so
yes.
It's big in London, and they wanted to do it in China because the esports market in China is huge. So I was the one who pitched to F1 esports in London. I mean, I made the deck, I pitched to them.
Wow.
So it was a different experience on its own. And when I left and then cut to I just heard that last year they actually had the event. It all parang
nagpan out.
So
yeah.
So I feel like, I was a part of this, and looking back, wow, that was a great experience. Even if half the time they all speak so fast in Chinese that it's so hard to catch up. Worth it.
Wow, wow,
Grabe
wow.
yung
Grabe yung
fulfillment, no? Yung the what, like, you're doing it with, and like at the end of the day, the fulfillment that you get out of all those experiences, all those hardships. You went through a lot all the years, but nothing beats the fulfillment that you get from, having your ideas pan out and making it really happen, making it real talaga, like yung dream becomes a reality. And
Yep.
grabe, like I was like so amazed, like hearing all those years, parang kung
Yep.
ako yun, wow. Iba yung ano ng Krizanne talaga. Parang lalong na ano sa akin yung sinabi ng mom niya na you really can't stop her. No, I don't
Yeah.
think no one can. No one can really stop her.
All out. All out.
All
Yeah.
out. Yeah.
What I saw from that experience is you being able to equip yourself with the right tools so that you can bring it to Philippine sports eh. And now doors are open. I don't know pero from what I'm seeing from the surface, doors are opening for you. For the WNBL being part of the executive committee, and then
Committee.
part of women's in sports commission under the Philippine Olympic Committee. Grabe yung nag-open up, and nakita ko yung preparing yourself for the bigger picture, for the bigger game, being able to contribute to sports. Like what does it feel like na you're being, nominated as someone to be part of the first women's pro league in the Philippines, and at the same time contributing sa Philippine Olympic Committee? Like, what do you think what was the learning experience then for you working with a big time organizations na?
Well, that was I'm so honored to have been given a chance to join these organizations. I wouldn't be there if not for the founding days also of That Game. So I think what really worked for us that the first women in sports seminar conducted by the Philippine Sports Commission back in 2016.
Yeah.
All the NSAs were asked to send a representative, and interestingly, they asked us, GGG, which is a non-NSA, to actually send representatives. So to invite me in.
Wow.
So it's a big thing, and it was a big win for us, knowing that we were invited amongst all the different NSAs. So it validated the fact that we are doing the right thing, we are in the right path, and we are being recognized as a go-to for women in sports, especially for young girls. So that I think that really changed a lot, and being able to go there, talk to like-minded people, opened doors to so many things, because now I've actually met more, sports sisters. The likes of, shout out to my Achi, I call her Achi Pearl Managelod, who is now part of the POC board and also the Muay Thai SecGen. So, and Ada, Milby, and all these other beautiful and strong women in the NSAs that I've come across with through that opportunity. And from there, we kept in touch. We tried to do different things to be able to collab. So yeah, that's what I was saying earlier. That every person that you meet along the way, always make sure to keep in touch if you can, or if not, along the way they will always remember you, and you will find a way to collab in any possible um, idea if that's something that you wanna go for. So for me, it was the turning point when I entered that. Going to that was in Davao, where I met everyone. That was great, and from there I realized that I want to do something bigger and try to move up in the organization. I mean, my legacy now in GGs, I'm so proud that it's carrying on, even without us, doing the day-to-day work and all leading the team. For us, that's a win in itself. Being able to co-found an organization where it's running on its own
Yeah.
is kind of my greatest legacy, and I can sometimes I joke around by saying, I think I lived my life's purpose and I can already die. I feel like I'm ready because I've already done what I felt like my purpose is in this world. So yeah, that's one. But sorry, going back to working with them, I really enjoyed. So for the POC, the Women in Sports Commission, thank you to Miss Cynthia Carion who handpicked me also to join the organization. And she picked people from different NSAs and she picked me also, knowing that GGG is one of the incoming organizations, and she wanted me to take a part in it to help the team. So this year, actually, we just launched a conference called Among Us Women in Sports. So we invited all the different NSAs, got different one representative, and we did it all online. But if you think about it, a lot of people just attend, diba? And you receive, you listen. But
Yeah.
we wanted people to become not be passive, but active
Interactive.
agents. So how we did it was that we grouped them and then we made them pitch to a set of judges an idea for women in sports in the Philippines. That a project that they can do. And whoever wins gets 50,000 pesos as a grant for free to roll out the idea for women in sports.
Wow.
So that's a great experience because we were able to see so many people. And it's not just, parang your mindset shouldn't be just in your sport, but also looking to the side from the other sports and learning from them. I learned so many things from just talking to Pearl in Muay Thai, to Ada in rugby, now to Maggie Ochoa, who I'm talking to now for safeguarding.
Safe sports. Yeah.
Yeah, so imagine, Frank, if you open your eyes to more people, now more than ever, women in sports should work together. That's so important. And that was the avenue to do so. So being there, leading a team alongside with Hila Indigne, Ada Milby, and Coach Noli Ayo was indeed a privilege that we were able to lead this conference. So that was great. We really had fun, and we had so much change in that conference. I think we have a question. Yeah, I'll answer that. Well, it's what was the one who won? So interestingly, the pitch was to start a women in sports commission, parang across all athletes. So we have a women in sports commission that does things, but we want to be able to implement a policy where each NSA will have a women's sports commission. So that way, each NSA will really make sure that they take care of women in sports with NSA. So yeah, I think they're working on it. I'm so excited and how that pans out. I think they're about to set up a general meeting also. It's being led by Miss Bongku, who's now the POC Women in Sports head. So yeah, and congratulations to these beautiful and strong women. I look forward to it. Yeah.
Wow.
So yeah, that's
Galing,
for
galing.
POC.
So may
go
women
ahead.
in sports committee bawat NSA? Is that
That's the
did
idea.
I hear it right?
That's the goal. So some NSAs now, they actually have women in sports na committees already, but not all. So that's the interesting part. And that's the beautiful part of it. Diba? Those that have up and running women in sports committees can now teach those who don't have. And so that's what we're trying to help push for. And yeah, hopefully that pans out this coming year. It's a very good initiative and project.
Yeah, it's all about like helping each other and building you know for the bright future. Sabi nga ni Philip, institutionalizing focus on women in different organizations sounds prudent. Wow.
Oh,
Spell. Medyo
Okay,
na
so
ano ko dun. No, but
yeah.
it's just amazing that you have those projects. And I think ang nakuha ko lang din dun is the willingness of learning, the willingness to learn new things, to be involved in such organizations. And I think accepting the challenge that goes with it. You have to be ready, 'di ba? Na lalo na pag yung mga ganyan na you really do deal with a lot of challenges. And again, it's because of how you started. Parang kumbaga sa nakikita ko, talaga kayang-kaya ni Krizanne na yun eh. Lampasan talaga yun eh, 'di ba?
Yeah,
Correct, correct.
hopefully,
Oh,
I aspire.
yeah.
No, but no one can stop her nga, 'di ba? Ang mentality niya,
Right.
sports never stops.
Sports
Tapos sabi ng
never
mom niya,
stop.
you can't stop her, 'di ba? So unstoppable talaga. Kumbaga
Unstoppable. Dapat
yun yung
unstoppable
nickname
eh.
niya.
Krizanne.
Krizanne the Unstoppable T, 'di ba?
May
Yun
bago
yung
na nickname si Krizanne.
pero
Nice one.
yeah. And ngayon recently happening in your life was you were recently appointed as part of the executive committee of the WNBL. Um, like, what was your initial reaction na meron na tayong first women pro league dito sa Philippines? And you mentioned nga sana magtuloy-tuloy siya, hindi lang siya for a short-term period, 'di ba? Kasi it takes a lot of effort, a lot of commitment for something to last for a long period of time. Like, what's your insight around, now that we have, a lot of people are excited, di ba? Especially women's basketball. The community is very excited kasi it's been so long na wala tayong, pro league sa women's. Like, what's your, what's your take on that, Kriz?
Yeah, the only we were discussing this earlier, no? So the only avenue for actually women to play competitively is actually up to the national team, and the roster for it's just very very small. So not everyone will get a chance to play. And imagine this, that there's an opportunity for you, as a young girl, to aspire to play in a pro league, and that's that's a huge win for the Philippines. I know it's difficult. I know it's challenging, and I know it's just the start. But like in every organization, we should always start somewhere and learn along the way. It's quite difficult and challenging. Um, and even us, we had that same experience. No? So I hope for the best, for the organization, and I'm here. I'm very lucky, to have been part of the executive committee. And thank you to Ms. Rose and the whole team for actually choosing me to become part of the execom, specifically handling also the safeguarding, safeguarding of the chairman for the safeguarding committee for the WNBL. And I'm not an expert in that. I have to admit that, but I am here to learn, and I'm
Yeah.
here. I'm going to do everything in my power to learn it, to help the
Right.
organization. So yeah, I've been in touch with some of the people, the leaders, so that way I'm able to equip myself. So I'm so excited for this. It's a huge milestone again for women in sports. And imagine, it's not just about playing. Honestly, I joined the draft, but to be honest, and I didn't make it to a team, but it's fine for me. I was so happy knowing and experiencing how it went through, because it's learning for me to see like how else can I help this endeavor. And I was just thinking about it, and then this opened when Miss Rose approached me to invite me to become part of the execom, and I was so flattered because all of the rest of the team there were actually drafted. So for me, it's really
Right.
it's an honor, and with great honor comes great responsibility. Imagine there were more than 700 aspiring female basketball players who applied to the draft.
Right.
Yes, not everyone was taken. I'm with you on that because I experienced it firsthand. No? But that doesn't stop me from, you know, supporting this endeavor for women in sports, for basketball. And it's not just playing that you can actually pursue a career in women's basketball. What's opening up is more opportunities because there's, sports media. You can do hosting. There's so
Right.
many referee, officiating, management of
Right.
teams. Women athletes can also engage in this. And yeah, in WNBL, that's one of the things that we're pushing for us also. So really accelerating people and finding a career in sports, specifically for women's basketball in the Philippines. So that's so exciting.
Right.
Um,
Right.
yeah,
Yan. Of course, comment nga ni Filippo, dreams can't come true if girls aren't given the space to dream in the first place. Yan.
Yeah.
true. So on point.
Alam mo, isa yan, I think that's one of the challenges. I mean, like, hindi lang din sa ano ngayon na I guess naging ano yun na, it was really hard for girls to be acknowledged in sports because kulang eh. Kulang yung support, kulang yung nagbibigay ng attention because we're not given space to do it. And it's just so amazing that hearing that we have this na yung the first ever pro league for women, which is the WNBL. Now girls will have a dream of becoming a pro player, and it's opening up opportunities again for young generations. Siyempre, tayo, ano na yan eh. All we can do is, be on the behind the scenes, I mean, helping the organizations. But yeah, it's really good to have these kinds of platforms. Sabi ni Philip na, as long as there will be girls will be given space for them to perform and showcase our talent, showcase our skills. Now we can also do what men can do, right? We can also excel in our careers, no matter in sports or life in general, I guess. So, yun lang yung ano ko. Kasi isa yun sa mga challenges eh. Di ba, Krizanne? Ever since. And it's just amazing that you are part of um, of one of the first ever na WNBL na to have it, I guess, to make a difference in women in sports, right? So, yun lang. As part of the committee, like how do you see yourself that wherein you can help them improve the way people can support women in sports or women, sabihin na natin women basketball?
Yeah, that's a very good question, Pat. I think what I bring in also in the committee is also my experience in handling a lot of different events, and one of which is definitely, of course, Girls Got Game and how we were able to push more girls into sports. And now, specifically, when they consulted with me at the onset before launching WNBL, so we had a discussion. We were asking for ideas on how to push it forward. My thoughts were really centered on paying it forward, meaning inspiring more girls. And how to do it is by establishing something similar to WNBA Cares, which is really pushing for grassroots for women in sports, and all the athletes coming into a WNBL to be able to do the same, to give back.
Right.
Because that
Right.
way, giving back, it's not just giving them a sense of fulfillment, but also ensuring the future of women in sports in the Philippines for basketball. Because when they give back, people know who they are. People can aspire to become them. People get to want to become athletes, and
Yeah.
that's something that we want them to push for, and that's something that I really, really push for in my, at least in my stints here with Ecom. Apart from that, yeah, I'm handling it, safety, safeguarding. So I'm looking at, safety is not just about just the players. You have to look at
Mhm.
the coaches, the official, the management team. You have to have safety officers to make sure that everyone's safety is taken care of. It's a difficult role. I mean, it's challenging even for me. I'm learning the ropes, admittedly. So something that I'm very excited about because it's new and exciting for me as well to learn this. And hopefully, with best practices, talking to Ada also and Maggie Ochoa, who are leaders in this space, I get to learn
Right.
from them. So yeah, that's something that I bring in to the table. At least my experience in both Girls Cup game and also being able to handle different things or organizations and more pushing things forward. As you know, if I want to push them in any way, I definitely be there all out.
Right, right. So exciting yan eh, di ba? They have Kiefer Ravena as the ambassador of the WNBL, who
Yes.
is the first Filipino athlete to be part of Jordan Brand, right? So
Yeah.
exciting yan, exciting yan. Of course, Chris, here at we gave you guys an opportunity to give your parting shot to our viewers and yung makakanood ng replay or the future viewers. what would be your message, no, to the sports community or people that aspire to make a difference sa Philippine sports?
Yan. I think for me, if you think about it, the best gift that you can give is really your time, your effort, your energy. And trust me when I say it that, it makes a whole lot of a difference. The simple moments, or if, you join a camp, you support a cause for sports, whether it's sports or not, it doesn't matter. Your simple time, effort, and energy will go a long way. It's a ripple effect. And that's why it's important to take that first step for people who are finding their way into sports also and into doing new things. I just heard about this earlier today, and I think I echo it because it's so strong. It's from Pablo Picasso that said like
Wow.
the meaning of life is to find your gift, whatever it may be, right? But the purpose of life is to give it away. So I was so moved by the statement, and I was thinking that it's something that I live by for. That you should always be there to share your gifts. They were given to you for a reason, and just keep paying it forward, and you'll see how you're able to change. Not just the landscape in sports, but the world, to making it a better place. So to speak.
Yes.
The meaning of life is finding your gift, and the purpose of life is giving it away.
Giving it
Grabe.
away.
Favorite
So
quote ko na rin yun.
So strong. So I felt like
It's very
Yeah.
strong, yes. Everyone
I mean, you're-
everyone can relate to it. I
Mm.
think should relate to it, That's how they
I mean,
should
you're
see it.
blessed if you were able to find the gift, di ba? Yung gift
Yeah.
mo eh. Kasi, I mean, if you're blessed if you get to be able to find it at a very young age, di ba? So, ayun, of course, remember guys, the meaning of life is finding your gift. So, kumbaga kung hindi nyo pa nahanap, continue searching, continue trying
Continue
new things.
searching.
Continue
Yes.
trying new things, di ba? And when you find it, hone it, craft it to the best way you can so that you can share it to the world, di ba?
Share
Which is
it.
ginagawa ni Krizanne, di ba?
Yes.
Sa
Oh.
organizations niya ngayon. Di ba, hindi naman pala only path is to be an athlete. There are
Yes.
other multiple
Other
scenarios wherein you can still be part of sports.
sports.
Di ba?
Yes,
Diba?
exactly.
everyone has a place in sports. That's what I always say, regardless of.
Oh,
And,
tama.
Ano?
Everyone
Sorry,
has
sorry.
a place in
Okay.
place in sports. Yeah.
Correct,
Perfect.
And what I said earlier, I really strongly believe that you can use sports as an avenue or a force to do good. And this is one way of doing it. And there's so many other ways to do so.
May
Ayan.
yun.
Oh, sa so yung female ambassador, si Krizanne, di ba?
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it's an honor actually. Thank you again to WNBL for choosing me to become their ambassador. And I will try my best. With a big responsibility also. And to be a
Pero
best
I think just being part of the executive committee makes you an ambassador already. Kasi, di ba? You're already part. I mean, if you're a player, you're the executive committee, you're already representing the league itself, right?
Yes.
Correct.
So, yeah, of course. With pride.
Tapos ito nga, sabi ni Leo Yubanas, coach, di ba? Coach siya sa
Coach.
game.
Yeah.
Most importantly is the full and continuous support of one's family. Yeah.
So important.
Ayan. Of course, Chris, dito kami, meron kaming may ginagawa kami with our guest, which what we call is the bet on yourself, right? So, alam naman natin yung mga nag-guest na natin dito, Dave, you guys have sabi mo nga, pwede ka na nga mamatay, di ba? Sabi mo nga kanina. Kasi
Pero wag naman.
Hindi. Nirritate ko lang, pero hindi ko masinasabi sa
Krizanne, there are a lot of things ahead of you. Don't say that. Don't say
pero
that.
pero sinasabi ko lang because you were able to say that.
Yeah.
Because you've managed to build a lot of things that has contributed to society, particularly the sports community itself. But now, meron kaming challenge eh. What would be, bet on yourself nga tawag, ano yung gusto mong ma-achieve next, di ba? ano ba yung goal na inaay mo ngayon na pwede nating balikan dito sa episode na pag na-achieve mo, babalikan mo dito. Ano ba sinabi ko nun sa episode ko? Balikan mo, nagawa ko na, di ba? So what would that be for you?
Oh, yeah. So for me, two things. One is to be able to take GGG internationally. I think
Wow.
the plan is very strong. And I think not a lot of organizations do it outside. And it's not just us who experience the same thing when it comes to, empowering women. There's a lot of other countries, starting with ASEAN nation pa lang, no? Talking to them, learning from them. I've already talked to them about it. And some people are interested to actually do the platform. So something similar to Teach for the Philippines, Teach for India, Teach for China. So it's something that we want to implement maybe in the long run. So internationalization. Nika and I dreamt of it when we started out. So hopefully that's one that happens.
Napanaginipan nyo parehas?
We dream of it.
Okay, we dream mo. Kala ko napanaginipan. Pero ang ganda nun, no?
Ito si
China. GGG. Africa. GGG.
Galing. Iba, no?
So that's something that, we take strong. I mean, within us, parang, yeah, man, that's something that I really want to happen. So hopefully, that's one. I guess the second, and I don't know how, but let's see, maybe take a position in the governing body for sports, whether it may be in the PSC or the POC in any way possible, but really to, be in that leadership position to do more for sports.
Wow, grabe. So number 1, GGG International. Number 2,
international.
Being part of the learning body, correct, of sports. Correct. Grabe. So yan, we're gonna hold you accountable for that, Kriz. Maybe expect a call from me a year or 2 from now. Just to check in with. joke lang. Pero hindi, maganda lang balikan when you achieve it, diba?
True.
Ayan, sabi nga niyo,
whole
is planning
world,
to take over the whole world. Watch out for her, di ba? Grabe, no? Grabe yung support system ni Kriz, di ba?
Yeah.
Grabe.
Thanks,
and of course, the For the Love of the Game community is gonna support you guys kasi you guys are parang our inspiration as well, and we wanna learn as well from GGG and Game on Sports, di ba? So we're rooting for you guys, definitely. And of course, this is also a perfect opportunity, Kriz, to promote yung organizations that you've built. What can people expect moving forward, especially for 2021? And what can they get out of being part of the GGG community and Game on Sports, diba? And para kanino to? So you want to start off with GGG first. Yeah, GGG.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, we just recently had a partnership also with Nike. So watch out for us. We have an event upcoming. It's Girl Scout Game X Nike. It's a Nike training club live workout with elite athletes Eliza Valdez, Camille Kerin, and GGG athletes Ina Palacios, Annalyn Rivas, Trish Aison. So it's on May 29, 4 p.m. Saturday, and it will be live in the GGG Facebook page. So, like and subscribe. Follow us in Instagram and Facebook. The team's doing well. We just recently launched a video with Nike. And please follow us so you know more about the organization. And if you want, reach out to us. That's something that we're pushing for now. Play new, play now, play with us in GGG.
Correct.
So secondly, for Game on Sports. So we're continuing, as I mentioned, we're everything sports for kids. So we want to discover your kids' love for sports. Now online because of COVID, but more in the future, definitely we'll do more. So we're the pioneers for multi-sports, an exclusive partner of Nestle Milo, HomePort, the multi-sport program. So they saw the space that we're creating, and they recognized the value of us of multi-sport. And we're really advocating for multi-sport because it really benefits a lot of different athletes. And grassroots, pushing them to try new things. There's so much to learn at a very young age. And so you can sign up for a multi-sport class online. It's 3 times a week. It's just 30 minutes, and imagine 12 sessions for only 2,000. So as I told you, it's cheaper than Starbucks. Kat.
Starbucks, yeah. Yun yung makakilala ko. It's cheap. Yun ba yung tagline nyo? Game on sports. It's cheaper than Starbucks.
Good perspective.
Magandang tagline yun. Medyo.
Yeah, and from multi-sports, what we try to do is from igniting your love for sports, we want you to sustain it by going through our focus sport program, which is you
Right.
get to choose a specific sport. So as I
Correct.
mentioned, some of the coaches said hi already. So we have basketball, football, rugby, volleyball. Now we have taekwondo, karate,
Correct.
hit, Thai, and boxing. And we're expanding. We're trying to be an essay for kids in sports. So any sport that you want to try out, do reach out to us. We have group classes, but we also do one-on-one. There's an increasing
Correct.
demand for one-on-one. And, your kids, no matter how young, no matter wherever you live, in a condo, an apartment, we always find a way to get your kids active and fit while at home in your own way. So yeah, just follow us and like and subscribe for Game On Sports PH. And remember, a portion for proceeds go also to Girls Got Game. So by joining us, you actually support also our organization and our advocacy of empowering women through sports. And yeah, so one more is also, I mentioned this earlier, Game On Girl, which is a culminating event for Girls Got Game and Game On Sports in partnership with Modest. So it's a multi-sport activity, just one Saturday. It's just 45 minutes for you to enjoy hit and gymnastics for kids ages 9 to 15-year-old. How to sign up? Just follow us in whether Game On Sports or Girls Got Game. You can find the sign up link there. So yeah, that's it.
Yeah. May question ako, Kriz. For Girls Got Game, what if gusto ko mag-donate? What if gusto kong magkaroon ng Girls Got Game sa barangay ko? Paano yun?
Very good question. Very, very important question actually. So yeah, if you guys want to reach out, please do send us a message in the social media, so it's easier, right? So you can send us an email as well, but you can find all our details in Facebook and Instagram. Just message us there. We're here and very open to help in any way possible. So just send us a message anytime.
Correct. Di ba kasi sila, kumbaga ang gagawin mo na lang kung may pondo ka, sila Chris na mag-organize for you. And di ba through your funding, it can help more women or more girls to accelerate sa sports and at the same time learn the right values, di ba? So you can reach out to Girls Got Game. Yan. And at the same time, go.
Yeah, we're not limited to just Luzon. We actually flew na already to Visayas and Mindanao in the past years. So we do camps of Luzon. So sports never stops. We keep expanding as long as we can. We'll try to reach as many girls as possible and having a mindset that bawat Filipina atleta. So.
Correct. And at the same time, so hindi lang pala siya sa Luzon, all over the Philippines na siya. At the same time, pwede rin ba sila mag-donate non-monetary? Pwede ba siya?
Yeah, it depends also. So what kind of non-monetary donations? We're open naman. Just let us know what you have in mind. We're always open for collaborations. So send us an email, a message. Definitely open for anything.
So they can just reach you guys sa social media platforms nyo on Girls Got Game. Correct.
Yes.
Okay.
Or email at girlsgotgameph@gmail.com.
girlsgotgameph@gmail.com. Now, ang ganda ng Game On Sports kasi meron kayong multi-sport, meron din kayong focus sport. So, pwedeng kung hindi pa nila alam ano yung sport nila, mag-multi sila tapos they can jump to focus sports. Tama ba?
Yes. That's the whole experience, a sports journey that's encouraging for kids. Honestly, we push parents to go for multi-sports first at the onset because what we wanted to do is to try different things. Then once they know already, based on their experience, since they've tried everything, then they get a chance to choose one that they want to really focus on the fundamentals, hone their skills and drills in that sport through the focus sports camp.
Right. And ito sa game, Girls Got Game ulit, tatanong ko dapat to. Paano kung may gusto mag-volunteer? Babae at saka lalaki, pwede ba yun? Pwede pa ba? Do you guys accept volunteers right now?
Right now, not yet because we don't have camps. But in any way that you think you want to support, just let us know. But we are open. Remember what I told you. Everyone has a place in GGG. So at any point in time, your values, your gifts, share them with us. Just let us know how you're able to, how you want to contribute, and we'll definitely find a place for you in GGG.
Mag-volunteer ako sending application.
Oh, pwede.
Kaya tinanong ko kanina, pwede ba lalaki? Pwede naman volunteer. I would love to help out in any way I can. So, yun. And of course, Kriz, you can share also, talk about your social media sa Instagram para people can follow your journey as well and invite them to follow you on your Instagram account.
Sure, yeah. So just follow me, Krizanne on Facebook, and also Krizanne_T on Instagram. So yeah, I'm a sports and fitness enthusiast. Yeah, I'm into finance and fintech. So yeah, if you wanna talk about how to save up, personal finance, all those things, I'd be happy to share whatever I know and my experiences on how to also invest if it's something that you're interested in, not just in finance, but also invest in sports and in your career and life.
Ayan. So guys, you can follow her on Instagram at Krizanne_T.
Yan,
Yan.
nandyan
Of
sa
course.
ano niya.
Of course. Nandyan pala. Binabasa ko pa. Ito, of course, nag-comment, nagpahabol. Victor Ong, go, Kim. And then si Leah, Michelle T. Nicart, go, Kim.
Hey, Leah. That's my nickname kasi Kim at home.
Okay. And of course, from Coach Leo Yubanas, Game on Sports. Grabe, mahilig siya sa hearts, no? Kanina pa siya nag-hearts.
Much love, Jeff.
Much love, yes.
Ayan. Of course, Kriz, we don't want to take up so much of your time already, but thank you so much for being here with us. Kat, you want to start it off by thanking Kriz?
Yes, of course. Krizanne, thank you first for saying yes to us in guesting in tonight's episode. It has been thank you also for we apologize na medyo syempre we extended again past our baka past your bedtime na, but again thank you so much for sharing a lot of your experiences and your journey with us, because ako I have learned so much, and those who spent the night with us, who watched this episode, surely did get a lot from you, and maa-apply namin lahat yon by tomorrow. Thank you for being an inspiration, especially to the Gen Zs, to the young generations, aspiring athletes, aspiring, who wants to, be big in the future. But again, thank you so much for sharing your wisdom. That's one thing that I truly admire also, is your wisdom and your ability to, the drive and the passion that you give in sports. So thank you so much for that. Yeah.
Ayan. Ako, thanks Kat. Ako, Chris, I just wanna, parang gusto ko ma-absorb yung Miss Unstoppable mentality mo. Galing. Like parang, I can conquer anything. Parang ganun yung ni Chris eh. Parang, lang yan. It will just take time, but I know I can do it. If anything that I set my eyes on, I can accomplish it. But thank you for, reminding me that I can choose to be unstoppable myself as well for what we're trying to accomplish. So yun. Ikaw, Chris, baka last message, thanking the viewers and yung mga shoutouts mo rin.
Oh, first of all, you guys, thank you for having me here today. It's an honor to be with you guys, and more importantly, to share my passion and purpose by paying it forward. I love your show. Keep up the good work. You're doing really well, and I think you're bound for greatness. And I know it's coming. I'll support you in every way possible. Definitely count on that.
Yun.
Yeah. Thank you also. I want to say hi also to my Girls Got team. core team and volunteers and team members and everyone who supported Girls Got Game right from day zero up until now. Thank you so much. You're doing. You guys are amazing. We wouldn't be here where we are today if not for everyone. Special shout out of course to Mariana and to Jelly who's leading the team. I said it a number of times already. They're pushing and talagang reaching greater heights, and I'm so proud. I could be so proud of them and the whole team. And I'm hopeful. Internationalization, maybe that's next something along the way. And I'm so proud of the future that we will have together. For Game One Sports, I hi to my co-founders, as Coach Danica, Digay, and Coach Leah. Thank you for being such an amazing work, but terrific trio, I would say. They're my constants. We meet every week, so I really love them here at Tuhar. And, we're really pushing onwards and upwards, push more for, sports for kids, even if it's online for now. But in the future, definitely watch out for us. We're going to do great things together. So please do support us, both Girls Got Game, Game on Sports, in all our activities and endeavor, by signing up for Girl and Game on Girl. If you give the proceeds, all the proceeds to our mission and vision for Girls Got Game. Hi, also special shout out to the WNBL Execom team and to the organizing committee, shows everyone, and Coach Heidi, and everyone. You guys are doing great. I'm so excited for the future, WNBL, that's for sure. And there's a 1-versus-1 competition upcoming. So please stay and watch out for that. Hi to all the teams from Kazaam. Yeah, special shout out to Lemon, to Mal, and to all the people. Yeah, it's Lemon, hi there. I've been working with these guys and playing with them ever since we had so, of course, for Game On Sports, yeah, and Coach Bretty, thank you so much. She's an amazing player. Follow her, Sports7 MNL. She's such an inspiration. Idol ko yan. And of course, hi to Coach Leo, who's been here watching as well. Thank you for the support. Hi, Cheska, of course, Kazaam. I'm so happy to be a part of this family. They're my constants since college. We've been playing for 10 years now. So,
Grabe.
Thank you for always having me and, letting me be part of your team, especially sometimes that I'm MIA. So, yeah, thank you so much, Kazaam.
Mukhang mapapadalas yung MIA pag international na yung yung GGG.
But yeah, these girls really are so passionate when it comes to basketball. They changed my thinking also, and they helped me really when I was crafting Girls Got Game kasi I saw how passionate they were to play, and it's so amazing. When people are passionate, they can do so many things. Hi to my Ateneo Eagles team, basketball team, especially all my coaches who were there, Coach Heidi, Coach John, of course, other teammates. Too many to mention, specifically siguro to my very closest friends, Mariana, Hila, Rona, Jessa, Ann Gomez, etc. Ang dami. So, yeah, thank you for being a part of one of the most important memories in my life, especially when it comes to basketball. Then to the other teams, I'm so glad to be teammates with everyone in Metrobank football and also in the Amigas national handball team. Thank you so much. And of course, last but not least, yes, of course, I want to thank my source of strength and inspiration when I do things, everything that I pursue. Thank you to my mom, to my sister, Krija, T, Derma. Follow her. My skincare, only Krija touches my skin. So, Derma.
Napahawak ako sa balat ko eh.
Parang kailangan na yan eh. Kailangan
pinawisan ako ng malabing, Chris.
If you need a derma,
kailangan niyo yan. Lalo na nga, ito yung opportunity, pandemic. Hindi ka pa masyado makapag-date. Prepare mo yung skin mo para pag nag-date ka, ang kinis mo na, di ba? Kutis papaya ka na.
This one. But yeah, that's so important. So follow her, Katie Dermatology. That's my sister. Follow her. And yeah, hi to my brother-in-law here, Chris. Also an avid fan of sports. And of course to my yayas and all our kasambahay, and of course to my partner Jackie. Thank you for always being my strength, my rock, and pillar of sport and everything that I do. So yeah, thank you, and more importantly to you guys, Kat, Dino, and also even if you're not here, Mr. Ken Pangilinan. Thank you so much. It's an honor to be with you guys, to give me a chance to talk about my experience in sports. and to help hopefully inspire more people to pursue their passion in sports. There's always a space in sports. Sports never stops. If you want to, just go for it. Impossible is nothing, like what Nike says, right? So just go for it. Go on, girls.
Just do it.
Ayan.
Yeah.
Of course,
Let's
before
just,
we let
just do
before
it.
we let Krizanne go, this sums up what our episode is all about. I said it a bunch of
True.
times already, but this is definitely one of the best episodes ever. There.
Oh, thank
Yeah.
you.
Yan.
Yeah.
Yan. Okay. So, Chris,
Ayun.
thank you so much for your time. Maraming salamat talaga sa opportunity to have you here. Susoli ka na natin sa sa
We're
tulog mo.
loss of words. We're loss
Oo.
of words because
Hindi,
we've
parang-
learned so much. Na ano lang, na overwhelmed lang kami. But yeah,
Oo.
yun, sabi nga ni Dino. Babalik ka na sa, ano mo, baka it's late for you. We know that you have work
But thank you.
also tomorrow. But thank you so much for
Thank
giving us, for gracing us with your presence tonight and giving
Yeah.
so much of your time and your learnings. So
And
again, thank you so much.
I'm so sure this wouldn't be the last time that we're gonna interact. Kumbaga, I know down the road we're gonna cross paths again, parang gano'n. And we're gonna connect a lot of times. So, thank you, Chris. Good luck sa GGG. Support kami dyan. I think I'm gonna share later on yung yung campaign nyo for yung June pa, di ba? Yeah.
Yes, correct. So
Sige,
share
sige.
Game On and also if Play New, follow us. Exciting events
Yeah.
coming along.
Yep, next
Right.
week.
See you, Krizanne. See you around.
All right. Thank you, Krizanne. Thank you. Take care. Take care. Good
Take
night.
care.
Good night.
Ayan. Sobrang wow.
Ano?
Ibang klase. I just love the episode with her.
Yeah.
Parang it goes to show na, you can impact the sport that you love or you're passionate about. Not just as an athlete.
And not as an
Diba?
athlete. You can do so much in sports.
You can do it
You
on so many different ways.
so many different ways, so many levels. So yun, guys, thank you so much to those who have been watching us. Kanina pa has been commenting, giving us your comments and your questions. But thank you so much for being with us tonight. So if gaya namin na sobrang na-inspire kami and na we were so moved with with a lot of things that we've heard tonight. So yon, please we encourage you guys to please like and share this episode because yun nga, we just want to spread the love of the game in our community and being an inspiration, being being a good example of that is our episode tonight. And nakuha ko lang dyan before is like trying to being also significant and being that difference in someone's life. So again, I got so much from our episode tonight. So I hopefully our viewers also got to learn a lot. And those who are our first time viewers who just tuned in to our episode tonight and haven't followed us yet, please do follow us on our social media platforms. We are on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and on Kumu. It's at For the Love of the Game PH. And on Twitter, it's at FTLOTGPH. And also, you guys, you can catch the audio version of our episodes on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Anchor. So you can just type in FTLOTG on the search box to find us. And again, guys, if you're gonna share a clip or this episode on your page, please do use these hashtags. Hashtag Krizanne on FTLOTGPH, hashtag FTLOTGF42, and lastly, hashtag For the Love of the Game PH. Grabe, Dino, 42 episodes.
Yun nga.
Grabe, no? Like, you're
Mag 50 na tayo. Mag-half a century na tayo.
Yeah.
Mag-half a century na tayo.
Malapit na. But, I'm just like so moved. Like, grabe talaga yung nakukuha nating inspiration
Dapat pala
and
nagpapamentor
learnings.
ako kay Krizanne eh. Papamento ako dun.
Totoo,
Di,
diba?
ito sa totoo, parang di nga siya nahihirapan sa tanong natin eh. Di ba? Parang
Sanay na
nakikinig lang.
sanay. Sanay na
Literally,
sanay
we
na.
don't prepare questions ha. Like literally, we just come in, galing niya sumagot.
Miss
Nakalusot lang siya.
Universe yan.
Hindi ko siya tinanong nung mga relationship eh. Dapat 30 minutes tayo bababad dun, di ba? Pero,
Hindi mo na-push eh. Hindi mo na-push yun eh.
de,
No,
baka,
but yeah,
baka
yun.
ma-off track tayo eh. Baka mabuisit yung tao kasi
Yeah.
iba naman yung focus natin dapat dito eh. So,
No,
yun, like,
pero yun nga, I just wanna yung our kung yung mga supporters natin, definitely yan nga, avid supporters natin. They get so much to learn every Wednesday night. Hindi lang sila, guys, kami rin as the host of the show. Talagang we are very fortunate that we get to have these kinds of guests every Wednesday night.
Yeah.
So, yun. So, Dino?
Ito lang din ito lang din kasi it's we've been alive for so long na, for so many years, Kat, 'di ba? Alam naman natin yung edad natin ng bawat isa. But
Grabe
what I wanna say is, daming organizations out there, daming foundations out there that contribute to society. But ako, dahil bias ako, very favor ako sa sports. Syempre, yun yung passion ko eh, 'di ba? That's why we have this for the love. Sobrang bilang lang talaga yung sports organizations out there. And if you as well watching now, passionate kayo sa sports, dito na kayo. Di ba? Ba't ba kayo doon na kayo sa something na na passionate kayo, di ba? Doon tayo eh, di ba? Find something that you love, find something that you're good at, then doon ka mag-contribute, di ba? Dito ka na sa organization nila Krizanne, di ba? Dito kayo mag-help. Yun lang sinasabi ko. Kung baka kailangan, and I mean, so many challenges during this pandemic, and one way we can is to give back dito sa organizations that support the sports community. Grassroots yan, grassroots. So, baga the future of Philippine sports yung ginagawa nila, di ba? Yun. And, ito, sabi ni Gabo, sana kung gaano kayo ka-support, sana kayo rin sa ibang. Rated G, yan. Of course, support niyan. Check out niyan, Rated G of Gab Ferreira sa support niyan, di ba? Check out yung podcast ni Gab Ferreira. Of course, Kat, kailan ba yung next episode natin?
It's gonna be again next week. Again, Wednesday
magbilang ka. Hindi ko muna papakita. Magbilang ka.
Grabe ka! It's gonna be, pinag-math mo pa. Pero alam ko naman, grabe ka naman. It's in our calendar, dude. But again, guys, catch our next episode next week. It's on May 26. Again, Wednesday night at 8 p.m. Sasabihin ko na ba kung sino yung guest natin? Or it's gonna be a surprise for everyone? Or do you want it to be a surprise? Kasi ito, bigating rin to eh. At
fitness
coach.
Coach,
diba?
Yeah.
Kumbaga,
brand ambassador din.
Idol.
Brand ambassador.
Oh, diba? Sobrang rin eh. Kumbaga para sa ako as a fitness, hindi lang sa basketball, as a fitness enthusiast. Someone I look up to. Oh, nakakabilib, diba?
Fan ako since 2018 nitong taon na to.
Sasabihin na ba natin ang pangalan? Sasabihin ko na ba?
Ida Paras, di ba?
Yes,
Ida Paras of the Movement Studio, di ba? Yan yung fan ako niyan since 2018. I've been following her journey, and grabe, 3 years after I get an opportunity to have, an in-depth conversation with one of the people that I look up to in the fitness industry. Magugulat kayo sa muscles niyan, sa flex niyan. Grabe, iba talaga. Pinromote talaga no?
Pero, bigating na naman yan, guest natin. Pero hindi, yun, something, again, to look forward to someone who we will get, again, another, for sure, an insightful night for everyone, to our community. Correct. And for us also. So guys, please do, next week, May 26 at 8 p.m. Yan. So,
yan. And sabi rin ni Krizanne, open daw siya to help if ever there are, you want to build your own organization, you want to give back to community as well. You can reach out to Krizanne to ask for help, ask for advice. You can just reach out kasi she's very open to connect, di ba? Di ba sinabi na important is not what you know but who you know. Pero yung challenge lang doon, marami ka lang babatiin. Pero wala namang problema doon si Krizanne, di ba? Na she knows a lot
Sanay na
of people.
sanay.
Sanay na sanay, di ba? Nagulat ako eh. Dami niya binabati, grabe. Yun lang. Kumbaga, marami kang connection, pero ang negative side noon, marami ka lang babatiin, di ba?
That only says a lot about the person, and like having relationships, building those kinds of connections with those people, and having them still in your life, 'di ba? Kasi madami yang dadaan, pero madami ring, 'di ba, aalis. Pero importante yung mga nagsistay with you to your ups and downs, gaya nga ng sabi ko. So,
parang
yun guys.
Wala naman. People, literal lang, people come and go, di ba? You meet a person for a reason, for a season, or for a lifetime. Yun.
Exactly.
Yun lang naman.
That's
okay.
Finding the the right person to connect with.
I'm proud, Kat, kasi nagawa natin nang wala yung lead host natin, no, si Ken.
I know,
we were able to manage this episode.
We survived.
Sobrang nag-enjoy ako. Galing natin, di ba? Mas nag-improve tayo from the last time na dalawa lang ulit tayo last time. Oh, di ba? I think mas nag-improve tayo dito eh. So, yeah. Ayan, Kat, you wanna thank anyone before we actually wrap up this episode?
Yeah, again, siguro hindi lang din naman ako katulad ni Krizanne na madami pero of course I just wanna give a shout. Wow! Kasi ito si Dino kung ano mga wala akong hugot.
May hugot yan.
Wala akong hugot. It's really the reality of life, guys. It's no, but of course I just want to say thank you, shout out of course my family and my friends. Shout out ni Krizanne yung yaya niya. I will shout out also my yaya who has been with me since my childhood, si Ate Edna, yun. I will thank you so much for taking care of me ever since yan. But yeah, to our viewers, to our avid supporters, thank you so much for being with us every Wednesday night. And of course to the Dream Team for creating our diba, yung mga collaterals natin in promoting our episodes. Without you guys, we wouldn't be here every Wednesday night. So thank you for always being there and for supporting us, also for supporting the whole team. And yun, siguro Dino, ikaw na mag-mention sa kanila, but again guys, ikaw na mag-mention sa lahat ng Dream Team. But
yeah, for sure.
Guys, we are so thankful and grateful for all your effort and the hard work that you put in creating for the love of the game. So, yun, thank you so much, guys. Yun lang, simple lang.
Yeah. And thank you, Kat. I just want to thank, of course, our guest for tonight for gracing us her presence, sharing us her time, knowledge, and yung story niya. Sobrang thankful ako doon. And of course, kay Ken, kahit wala siya dito, in spirit, nandito siya. Alam ko nandito siya in spirit.
Oh, for sure. Yes.
Kaya naitawid natin yan of course. And of course, to my co-host, si Kat, who has supported us and connected us with a lot of people to be able to, for allowing us to take our game to a higher notch, di ba? And kung wala naman si Kat, di natin mag-guest dito si Krizanne, di ba? And at the same time, for the Dream Team, like I just want to shout out one of the first people who believed in what we did, si Neil Fernando. He just got featured sa When in Manila. Siya yung gumawa ng logo ni Heidi Diaz and Sports Saksi ni Chino Trinidad. So I just want to shout that guy out kasi
idol yan,
naniwala
idol
sa ginawa natin, and it opened up. Galing talaga nung tao and sobrang thankful ako for him. And then si Burge, working with ako si Doggy, 'di ba? Parang sobrang nakaka-proud lang. And of course Bean Cuevas working with Donnie Geisler as well, and Heidi Diaz. So parang I'm just proud of what the team has built. Of course yung Davao boys natin, si
Kaiser,
Dave, si John Ronan, si Kaiser, si Arnie, 'di ba? Of course to CJ. Sino pa ba? Nakalimutan ko na yun ba eh. Pero yeah, I just wanna appreciate all of you. I think I've mentioned everyone naman.
Si Jod,
of course, Jod creating the career highlights poster. Maraming salamat. Ben Cuevas for the trailers and Kaiser. Diba? You guys mean so much to the team, and we can't do it without you guys.
Dave yung gumawa nung cartoonized.
And of course, sa family ko, friends ko, And to the ones that believed in us, to the guests, to the brands that are open to collaborate with us, maraming salamat to Kumu, sa Kumu team, sa TikTok, kay Gab Pangalangan, and kay Rappler as well. I just want to thank you guys for giving us, and of course, kay Lester Castillo for giving us an opportunity on July and August. So, abangan nyo yan, guys. Maraming salamat. Nabanggit ko naman kung anong brand na yun kanina, kung saan affiliate si Lester, but thank you so much for the opportunity. And I think yun naman yun eh. And I just want to wish you all well and hopefully be safe during this pandemic, and let's just pray, no? Sports will, kumbaga gawin natin energy na sports will never stop. Like sabi nga ni Krizanne, help one another during these times. Yun naman talaga ang kailangan natin is support from one another.
Support. Yes.
So did I miss anything, Kat, or we're good for ano?
I think we're good, guys. So we're
all right. Okay. So ayan. So that does it for our episode 42 here at For the Love of the Game. I'm Ken, and here with me is I'm Ken. Lagi ko kasi narinig eh. I'm Dino, and here with me is my co-host si Katan.
Feeling ko nag-ano lang yung spirit ni Ken.
Kasi
dumaan.
Yung lagi narinig ko eh, but we just wanna say see you on the next episode of For the Love of the Game, guys.
Thank you. Peace out.
Always do it on my own, so I gotta get through it. And the only thing I know is to love what I'm doing. Never give up, never slow, till I finally prove it. Never listen to the no's, I just wanna keep moving. Keep my head up when I act, head up, that's a fact. Never looking back, I'ma keep myself on track. Keep my head up, staying strong, always moving on. Feel I don't belong, tell my thoughts to move along. Push myself to be the best, die with no regrets. Live with every breath, see my message start to spread. And I had so many dreams, then you hit your teens. Life ain't really what it seems, try to find out what it means. Always do it on my own, so I gotta get through it. And the only thing I know is to love what I'm doing. Never give up, never slow, till I finally prove it. Never listen to the no's, I just wanna keep moving. Yeah, I put out all this art, it's my only medicine. Yeah, everything I do, I'm just being genuine. Yeah, I'm sick of being screwed, feel my own adrenaline. Yeah, I do just what I do, and I hope you let me in, yeah. I'm grateful, oh yeah, able, oh yeah, I'm stable, oh yeah, no label, oh yeah, you know me, I have only a path, I'm lonely, but damn, I'm going to I don't want no fake love, I want the real stuff. Everybody listen up, cause I'll only say it once. I'm gonna show you all the path, if you want it bad. I'm gonna show you where it's at, yeah, how you can get it back. Yeah, cause I ain't never done, I'll be number one. Working hella hard until I get just what I want, yeah. Rises like the sun, yeah, fatal like a gun. Shooter's gonna shoot and I'm gonna shoot until I won, yeah. Always do it on my own, so I gotta get through it. And the only thing I know is to love what I'm doing. Never give up, never slow, till I finally prove it. Never listen to the no's, I just wanna keep moving. Yeah, I put out all this art, it's my only medicine. Yeah, everything I do, I'm just being genuine. Yeah, I'm sick of being screwed, feel my own adrenaline. Yeah, I do just what I do, and I hope you let me in, yeah. I'm grateful, oh yeah, able, oh yeah, I'm stable, oh yeah, no label, oh yeah, you know me, I have only a path, I'm lonely, but damn, I'm going to win, yeah.